You're listening to the Shout It Out Loudcast with Tom and Zeus, and I am Mitch LaFawn. Find me on Twitter at Mitch LaFawn.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Shout It Out Loudcast. Don't turn your radio dial. You're in the right place because the album review crew is back with episode number 36. We are calling this one, Be Ready to Settle for Nothing Now. Motherfuck Uncle Sam. Hear me tell Zeus, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And understand that anger is a gift. Get ready for the filth. On this episode, Tommy Zeus, how are you?
Oh, my God. Isn't this great? I love it. I love it. Rage Against the Machine. If you told me when we first came up with the ARC idea that eventually we'd get to an album like this, I'd be like, nah, no way. Right, Zeus?
If you would have told me we were going to get to this album, are you?
Sonny would have been like, Sonny would have been like, I'm busy for the next 3 years. I can't do ARC.
Sorry.
Who are you? Where'd you come from?
Not interested. I'm all set. Yeah, we're off a little bit of the kind of trajectory we were on when we first started this little sidecast. We just did REM, Rush, and Rage Against the Machine, kind of a little bit out of our wheelhouse a little.
We'll get back into it. If things come around, we'll get back into it. You know, not every episode could be Great White.
Yeah, Great White.
I know that was one of my picks too. That's right. I know. I think everybody needs to prepare for the fact that Sonny has the next pick. Ooh.
Well, I can tell you who it's not going to be. It's not going to be Rat because I don't want to do 4 shitty bands in a row.
Oh,
where did Rat come out of?
Because I think he's looking for the R. He's going with
R.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
dude, I'm really behind right now. REM, fucking
Rush and Rage. Yeah.
Oh, what did we do before REM?
Black Tiger, Y&T.
No.
Sonny's going to do Ralph Tresvant to keep the R's going. Anyways, oh boy. Yes, Zeus is a little bit under the weather, so hopefully he isn't doing any killing in the name of during this episode.
Yes. There. If you hear somebody puking or shitting themselves live, that'd be me.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Yeah. So, before we go backwards, we go forwards. Or before we go forward, we go backwards. I'm already fucked up. I don't know.
This is going to be a good one.
Oh, this is
Wake up!
Yeah,
Wake up! There you go.
All right. So, last month.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Last time we did Rush. Did you remember to do a poll?
I remember all the time now. You know why I remember? Because you hammered it into my head that the day after the episode drops, the poll drops. That's how I remember now.
Sweet.
Yep.
So we did a poll for Rush songs, I assume.
Yep. Moving pictures. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And our 4 options were Limelight, YYZ, Red Barchetta, and Tom Sawyer. And Limelight comes in first at 36%, Tom Sawyer at 30%, Red Barchetta at 27%, and my poor instrumental YYZ comes in at 7%. And a couple comments about the episode and the poll. Of course, Sonny's coined a new term. Hopefully it's not offensive to people, but apparently there's a thing called rush tards. And we're gonna find out this month if rage tards exist. But our buddy, moving on, 2660850, we know he's a huge Rush fan.
Wow.
Is that a positive thing?
That is a yes. Yes, that is a positive thing. Great review. As someone who listens to a lot of live albums, Rush changes the set list up so much for each tour. I never get tired of a particular concert release. So he's
Why?
talking.
Do they stop doing Rush songs?
Oh, how dare you! My goodness. Here we go. Here it comes. Our buddy, I Love It Louder. I agree with Tom. This side one has got to be one of the best in terms of 4 songs in a row. Has to be up there.
Tom, I will give you credit. I mean, I know people like Rush and all this stuff. I've never heard. I was kind of aghast when you said, "Oh, this is one of the best sides." There were a couple people that echoed your sentiment.
Yeah.
So I stand corrected. I thought it was outrageous. I'm the one who didn't understand. Apparently, there are a lot of Rush tards out there that think this side is this side of the best side since, I don't know,
Love Gun?
Pretty Boy Floyd's 4th album. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Somewhere in Time, side A is better.
I don't know one song on that album.
Yeah, you do.
Only
Wasted Years.
Oh, okay. Wasted Years.
Is a great song, but I don't know.
Somewhere in Time, Wasted Years, Sea of Madness, Heaven Can Wait. Dude, that's much better.
That's wrong, but that's okay.
Can I Play with Madness?
No, Sea of Madness. Can I Play with Madness is the next album.
Can I Play with Poonie? That's the B-side.
Yes, you can. Because I saw that picture of you two hugging, and I was jealous.
Yeah. Dude, Joey Casada is the new Tim Breen, by the way.
Yeah. He has this thing where he needs to send us photos of us.
He honestly, Zeus and I are the new Paul Stanley and Tommy Thayer Photoshop people.
What the fuck?
It is unbelievable. Oh, my God. Anyways, back to Rush. Back to our band. Clark's Side of the Moon. Finally, a Rush album. My second band after Kiss. Respect for Sonny and Zeus for not just trashing Rush, even though it isn't their thing. Okay. I think you guys got a lot of kudos for that. Our buddy King Kusano. I'm with Sonny and Zeus on this one. I respect the hell out of this band, and I do enjoy some songs, but there's too much going on. My buddy from high school used to call them algebraic rock. And So what you're saying is, King Kusano, is you're just not bright enough to like Rush. It's okay.
He's drunk.
It's more like trigonometry than it is.
He's drunk. No, that's only during the live streams with us.
Holy shit.
Keith. Oh, and then he follows up with a hashtag dumb it down. That's kind of funny. Let's see. What else do we got here? Dr. 2 posts a GIF from Seinfeld. And it says, "This is Zeus and Sonny on this episode." And it's a GIF of George talking to Jerry saying, "I don't know. I like stuff you don't have to think much about." Paul Rosenthal has a picture of one of the Wicked Witches from the Disney movie. And it says, he goes, "My daughter thought Geddy Lee's performance was outstanding in Snow White." Jesus Christ. That's awful. Our buddy Jack Broad. We haven't heard from Jerky Jack Broad in a while. One of the greatest albums ever produced, but I would actually put Signals. I would put Signals slightly ahead of this masterpiece. Jack Broad, we agree, my friend. Signals slightly ahead. All right. And our buddy West Beach. He says,
"Come on, West."
He says, I guess it was inevitable. Just like Axl, I can't listen to Geddy Lee's voice. I will listen. Yes. But I will listen, but I don't think my mind will be changed. Looking forward to Sonny's next pick to reel it back in. He just skips right over my pick because he knows it's probably something he ain't going to like. Although I have a feeling Wes might like Rage Against the Machine. I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
Wes is hard to predict. I don't know. Let's see. Our buddy Carl Mastenbrook. This album is my favorite album. So glad you guys covered Rush. Tom, no matter what Zeus and Sonny say, Rush is the best.
No, you're not allowed to like them, Tom. No, you're not.
All right, that's Twitter.
All right, I'm getting my second wind here. Look out.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start over on Facebook. Chris Ritchie, a life-changing album for me. As a Torontonian and a young bassist, this concert was second only to my first Kiss concert in Toronto. It still has a lasting impact on me. I strive for that bass sound, too. Even in my Kiss tribute, I sound more like Geddy.
Ooh,
As long as you don't look like him, you'll be okay, brother.
come on. Poor Getty. He's a nice man. He's a kind man.
Chris L. A triumph in all three phases. Songwriting, performances, and production. Tony Griggs. Here's some Rush for you. I don't know who Tony Griggs is. Maybe he might be related to Tony Gurria, the wrestler. But He writes, Chris, cool, man. Thanks for the heads up. You know me pretty well. Rush is on my Mount Rushmore of bands.
Of course they are. Any clear-headed thinking American or music fan in general, Canadian, Rush, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
It's right there in the name, Mount Rushmore. That's why it's called that.
Paul Hader. Rush is a real fine wine of a band. In my youth, I bought a couple of their albums, but I was much more into Metallica, Van Halen, Def Leppard, etc. Just like I was more into drinking tequila shooters and glasses of rye and Coke. Now I'm getting old, and I have all the time in the world for maybe the best band to ever come out of Canada. Whew, that's a lot of bands there, huh? Their songs aren't work to me. Their journeys traveled with incredibly gifted tour guides. Lay back, grab a more sophisticated beverage, and soak in all the layers of goodness. Oh, and yeah, Limelight is perfection. Rest in peace, Mr. Hurt.
Here. God damn it.
Screw fine wine.
Dude, what a, see that right there. That's a Rush fan. Very articulate, very thoughtful, very cerebral. As Sonny says, very long-winded, pompous, boring.
All right, Sneed Rock. Okay, so story time about a female Rush fan.
Uh-oh.
It was when Rush released their Test for Echo record, and me and my buddies traveled 2 hours to see Rush in Toronto. Mistake number one. We drove down early and made a day out of hanging out in the big city. Mistake number two. As we're walking downtown, a blonde girl noticed my friend's Rush shirt and said, "Hey, I'm going to see the show tonight as well."
Nope. Lie.
Things that never happened.
That's never happened.
We started chatting with the girl and found her name was Jill, and she was a huge Rush fan. And not only that, but she told us that she thought Geddy Lee was the hottest man alive.
This whole thing is complete horseshit.
I still remember her Midwestern accent. She was either from Cleveland or Chicago. I remember it started with the C saying like, "Oh my God, Geddy Lee's like the hottest man ever." We were in disbelief. Great bass player, yes. Unique singer, yes. Hottest man ever. And she was kind of cute as well. I wanted to share this story in case she's a Loudcaster and maybe can chime in regarding her taste in Canadian bass players.
No, the least believable part of that story was that a cute Midwestern blonde was going to a Rush concert. No way. No way.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No, and she obviously had some vision impairments if she thinks Geddy Lee's handsome. I love Geddy, but let's be serious.
Or she had a third leg.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he ranked Tom Sawyer as number one.
Okay. And that was Sneed Rock?
Yes.
All right, nice.
Michael Anderson says, Pony is going to make you guys pay.
Yep.
First, the cyanide pill known as REM. Now the band guaranteed not to get you laid, Rush. Be prepared for Sleazebees or another band that replaces the S with a Z.
Oh, man.
Our buddy, ABCPA Inc., man himself, Tony Barone.
All right.
I'm so happy I am crying.
Oh, that's good. You know what? He is also going to be so happy. He loves Rage. So this is a double back-to-back, a whammy, double whammy for Tony right here.
That's because Tool is on this album.
That's true. That's right.
Michael Murphy says, and quotes, Tom Gelati, one of the best side ones ever. And then there's the gif of the people from Chappelle Show laughing.
That's okay.
Tom replies with, "Did I stutter?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's okay.
Brad Rustoven. Well done, Patreons. Awesome pick. As expected, too many dropping comments by Sonny to count. But maybe the most shocking was that he had never seen E.T. What the fuck?
I topped it because we were doing an episode on Growing Up Rock, and I said, I've never seen Fast Time at Ridgemont High.
That's why I'm convinced that you were locked in a storage container for your formative years.
No, see,
Never
Fast
seen
Time
it.
I understand because you were young and that movie was an R movie and stuff. Maybe you didn't have cable or whatever. Your parents wouldn't allow you. That I can understand. But E.T.?
I just don't
Yikes.
like the sci-fi stuff. Never have.
It's not. It's a kids movie. It's a family movie. You don't like anything.
Aren't you like a
Adventures of Babysitting was awesome.
It's terrible.
Aren't you like a sabotage? No, that's Steve, isn't it? Who put up-
Sabotage. That was Steve. Colored vinyl.
He buys his album by the medieval toys they have in the front. I forgot. I'm like, yeah.
Wyatt, Sonny may pick that next pick after this.
He ain't picking fucking.
Oh, hell no.
You don't
Every
like-
time the 62 comes up with a record and an album, I just type in why ? That's it.
Yeah,
you know it's.
I forgot. He's not into the like Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I know.
Yeah.
The 6'2". Oh, Stevie.
Loudcasters page. Joe Decker.
Yeah, Joe.
A band I played back in the day covered YYZ. The bass player and drummer were huge Rush fans. Gotta say, I did enjoy playing the guitar solo and enjoyed watching people try to dance to it when we snuck it in between Motley Crue and Slaughter.
Oh my God. That's good.
What the fuck? Michael Galanti. I don't think I've ever heard it, but I got to read this. Zeus and Pooney are uneducated dolts.
There you go. That's my burner account.
I felt like punching Pooney in the face out of frustration for his inability to listen to a song over 3 minutes and understand multi-syllabic words.
Oh,
Great episode regardless. By the way, I sort of agree that Witch Hunt is almost as long as this episode. First time commenter, but a long time listener. Love you, brothers.
oh, that's awesome. Thank you. That's a good one.
All right. Let's go over to our Instagram where we had a bunch over there.
Okay.
Hoy Liam. Finally finished this episode. It really reignited my love for Rush. I can't believe I forgot what an incredible album this is. Every single song is an absolute home run.
Ooh.
Special mention goes to Limelight, my favorite song of theirs. That gorgeous ethereal riff Alex does at the chorus is one of the most incredible moments in a song I can think of. It's one of those pieces of music that kind of moves you in a way you don't expect and really, I almost puked just there. I'm not. It really takes you somewhere. Not because of what I'm reading. But I'm not
Jesus Christ.
You're
You're like fucking Gene in Extreme Close-Up. He's like,
Poor guy went from Rush to Rage, and he's been sick the entire time. I think it's the music.
I'll tell you, if I make it through this episode without doing something, I'll be shocked.
You'll be fine.
And to anyone who likes cover tunes, oh my God.
No.
Kip Winger does an amazing version of Limelight.
No, he does not. Is that real? Is that true?
On a Rush tribute album.
That's more offensive than him doing Purple Haze.
Dude,
No, it's not.
That is more offensive.
No.
Kip is an amazing musician. I bet you that came out really good.
I agree. No, Sonny, I agree. I like Winger. I told you I like that album. Limelight,
but
yikes.
he can get away with that because it's a Rush tribute album. Right? That's how I see it. But
Okay.
to just do Purple Haze?
And throw it on an. Yeah, all right. That's true. It's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Joyce Home Services. Great album, Tom. As
Yeah.
a Toronto boy, big fan of Rush, their connection with Kiss. Neil Peart.
There you go. You got
On the drums, monster player. Happy to say that I saw Rush's last show in Toronto before Neil died. Rest
Wow.
in peace.
Awesome.
Zeus. Listen to Rush with the headphones. So many layers. Amazing.
That's right.
I did, and I do commend them with their musicianship. I just want good songs. That's all.
Okay.
To me. But I do have a revelation that I think I figured out from the Kiss cruise and from listening to certain albums and certain things. You know what I've come to realize?
No.
I don't think I'm a big fan of what is called metal.
You're not. You never have been, though.
I think because when we were growing up, metal included Dawkins, Bon Jovi.
Yeah, that's
stuff.
not. Yeah.
But what is deemed metal?
Black Label Society.
Oh, the whole conversation about Stryper on the cruise. Oh, no, they're not calling on you. They're not like that. They're not like that. I'm like, why not like that? No, they're real metal now. And I'm like, that's not a good thing for me. I don't like that. And everyone's like, no, that's straight metal. And I'm like, ugh.
That's okay.
I can respect it. I can like certain things, but overall, that's not my thing. And I just figured that out after all this time.
You probably helped you to listen to Rage Against the Machine for the last month to realize you don't like metal.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, I don't hate it. There's just certain things I'm not drawn to it, I guess I would say.
I got it.
Rudy Doth. Oh, this will be great. I've been listening to tons of past episodes and loving every one of them, but have yet to listen to an album review episode. Oh, come on, Rudy. This one for sure. Can't wait. Very curious to hear what Zeus Sonny says. After Signals, I checked out Rush for a while till Counterparts.
Yeah.
But I definitely consider myself a Rush fan. I remember buying this when it came out. I think it was 12 to 13 years old.
Nice.
Lamar Page, who I believe, Tom.
That is.
Our old friend Sterlino.
That's right. He's back.
Is Zeus ever going to turn up? Was I not on this episode?
What happened? What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe he thought I wasn't talking much. I don't know. Now, that'd be a first. Over on YouTube, our buddy Nige Savage is almost jerked off as much as our buddy Tony Barone did because fuck yeah, Rush baby. I love this album. Voted for it on the Patreon pick, and of course, I love this episode. You guys are hilarious. Sonny, your reaction to the camera eye was your finest comedy moment so far, love it.
Don't encourage this behavior.
And Tom, Neil, do you ever pick up an issue of Jugs? Comedy gold. Apparently, I didn't do anything. Maybe Sterlino was right. I came to Rush very late, so I completely understand why people don't like them. Because up until about 15 years ago, that was me. For example, many years ago, I shared an apartment with a drummer in my band. He was obsessed with Rush and used to play their albums all the time in the apartment. I hated them. It was something we always used to joke about. But one day, many years later, I heard Subdivisions, and boom. For some reason, it was the key that unlocked Rush for me. I don't like all their stuff. Caress of Steel is a tough listen. But the stuff I like, I absolutely love. I'm so happy that I saw them live just once on the Clockwork Angels tour in 2013. I went with a friend, and neither of us has seen Rush before. We were next to a guy who can only be described as a classic Rush tard.
There you go.
It was his 49th time seeing. Yeah, it was his 49th time seeing Rush.
Wow!
And he spent the entire concert ear drumming, air guitar playing, and air bass playing. Usually, all three at the same time. He was like a kid who eaten a kilo of sugar. He was hilarious to watch, but it was also an amazing demonstration of the power of music and how it can make you feel. And that is the coolest thing of all. Anyways, that's enough intelligent commentary for one day. I'm off to listen to Tough Rocks Honduras. Stay awesome, guys.
What dumbass sees a band 49 times live? That's just dumb.
What are you talking about? You know how many Kiss tards probably do that?
How many? What's the most times you've seen a band, Sonny?
51.
And let me guess.
Y&T.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
Y&T 51.
It's not your buddy Richie Kotzen?
Oh no, he doesn't play enough.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not your buddy Richie Marks?
Richard Marks doesn't play enough either.
He's too busy tweeting like a fucking psychopath, but that's a separate story. You can edit that out if you want.
He's doing Daisy Fuentes. He can do no wrong.
That is a miracle right there, but that's a whole separate story.
She definitely took him for his hairdo. And I'll end with this one. Jason Leonard. Sonny's overuse of brutal is 10 million times more boring than any Rush song. Stop repeating yourself, pal.
I have a feeling that's going to make a few appearances during this episode.
Oh, you might want to.
I have a feeling we may be hearing that a few times.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think we all tend to repeat certain phrases a lot.
That's okay.
Sonny has his catchphrases.
Zach doesn't do it at all. So
say that again, Sonny. What? What's that?
Yeah, because Zach doesn't do it at all.
No, never. He doesn't repeat
not
anything.
on this album.
No. There's nothing. There's no repetition on this album at all.
Yeah,
none.
That's a good call. All right, over to you guys. I think you have some emails.
Yeah, Sonny, why don't you bang out the few that you have, and then I got a few, and then we're done with feedback.
All right. So the first email is from Gary Cap. Great show, guys. One of my all-time favorite albums. They were one of the first bands, if not the first, to use video screens in concerts. Saw them on this tour, and I was super stoned. Maybe he meant stoked, but it says stoned.
No, I believe he said, I believe stoned.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. I was trying to benefit it down. They were known as the Thinking Man's Band because of all the complexity of their songs. Hence, Zeus goes on for 10 minutes describing Tom Sawyer. Tom was spot on describing each song and how great they are, and I agree side one is one of the best sides of any album ever.
There we go.
Sonny, well, he made me laugh my ass off. At least he liked Limelight. If Geddy Lee ever heard this review, he would want to jump off a building. That is true. Useless fact of the day, Rush is the only band that I know that had used a different font logo on every album as the picture on my shirt shows. Starting clockwise, he sent us a picture of a shirt with the Starman logo in the middle and all the Rush logos going clockwise. Gary, you are crazy.
He's right. Every album has the word Rush written in a different font.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
No, that is crazy. That's and by the way, we're recording on Gary Cap's birthday. So happy birthday to Gary.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Gary. One of the nicest guys we know.
Except for when his flight's delayed. Then you get angry airport Gary.
Yeah. All right. Jerry Guerra is next. Moving Pictures. He says, hey, guys.
Jerry.
I've been listening to the podcast for about a year. My first concert was Kiss, the Dynasty Tour 79. I was 6. And my birthday is on February 18th, 1974. Kiss debut was released on the same day. Wow. Jerry, you might want to ask the Kiss police because your birthday may have to change. So you could say I was destined to listen to Kiss. Upon listening to the album review for Moving Pictures, I'm with Tom on Rush. But I don't get Rush. Oh, wait. I did not get into Rush till the 80s or what some Rush fans would call lame Rush. All Rush is lame, not just that.
Stop it.
I enjoy 80s Rush better than their early stuff. My thing is for Zeus. You can listen to REM, but you don't like Rush.
Yes.
Not a fan of REM.
Absolutely.
Anyways, guys, I enjoy the show. Got to go get me ice cold mellow yellow.
All right.
Justin Steele is next. Guys, great episode. This really hit home for me with you guys differing opinion on Rush. Growing up, all my friends love Rush. I was forced to listen, and they humored me with Kiss. It wasn't until about 10 years ago I started streaming Rush's whole catalog, and it just clicked for me, and holy shit, saw them on the final tour. Grace Under Pressure is my final favorite album. I guess this was better than picking my Warrant Dog Eat Dog selection. P.S. Another reason to hate the Cowboys is he's a fucking Cowboys fan because Justin obviously likes losers.
By the way, your Cowboys pummeled my Vikings.
Wait until they pummel the Giants on Thanksgiving. I can't.
Horrendous. Yikes.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sonny. I have no really, favorites of that, but I want you to beat the Giants because fuck Casada.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
That's right. A woman actually sent us an email. Vanessa Corzano. What? This is a recommendation for Tom, as it seems he's getting acquainted with some of the newer generation of rocking female bands. Check out The Warning, a power trio from Monterrey, Mexico. They're currently 22, 20, and 17 and been in the band since 2014. Their third and latest album is called Error. I think it would make a great album review crew subject. The Warning toured this summer with Hailstorm, Pretty Reckless, opened up for the Foo Fighters in March 22, and GNR in October 22. They're the real deal, headed for great things. I think Tom knows that because he met some of those folks.
That's well.
Who is that from? Is that Jay from the Hook Rocks?
No, the funny thing is, the funny thing is, before we started recording, we were actually talking about The Warning.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. They're great. They're like a kick-ass band, kind of like along.
Yeah, they did the Metallica video years ago that went viral. Remember when they did it?
They're really good. They're really good.
Yeah, I know Jay's had him on a couple times. I'm joking because he's had him on the Hook Rocks.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think this was my last one. Daniel LeBlanc. Hello, guys. It's been revealed on other ARC and Shouted Out Loud podcasts that Zeus and Sonny are not Rush fans. So I was looking forward to hearing what they had against the band on this episode. Was glad to hear the reasons for not liking Rush, but can't help wonder if Rush is a band you need to take in while you're still young, similar to learning a language. There's a time frame where language acquisition needs to occur or a person will struggle learning that language. My first experience with moving pictures. My first experience with moving pictures was during a visit with one of my grandmothers. I had a teenage uncle who would play different cassettes for me and my Miss sister. During one of those visits at Grandma's, he came home with moving pictures, played as Tom Sawyer, and we were both blown away. He refused to play it again for us, so we had to go purchase the album. It sounds like Tom is not a Presto fan, but I had a similar experience with that album. I was with a friend who is a bigger Rush fan than me at a record shop after work, and they played Show Don't Tell. Neither of us knew the Rush had a new album. We were blown away by what we heard. We both ended up buying the CD that night. While Presto won't make my top 5, it would find a place on my top 10 based on Show Don't Tell and The Pass. Glad you guys covered this release and looking forward to future ARC episodes. Daniel, I would tell you I am 100% with you on sometimes you got to catch this stuff young so it gets into you because you're right. Language, golf, playing an instrument. Like there's just certain things that if you don't start as a kid, like me trying to learn how to play guitar now, dude, I don't got the patience for that.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
No matter how much time you got.
Yeah. And to just quick comment on his Presto thing. Presto's kind of a tough album for me, but I won't. The Pass is one of the great underrated Rush songs. So, all right, let's fly through a couple more emails here. We got our buddy Vidal Espinoza. Hey guys, great episode. Moving Pictures was the first Rush album I got and really liked it. I later acquired all the albums after Signals. Didn't like any of them. A couple notes from the episode. Zeus, did I hear you correctly that you don't like REM during the IRS years?
No, I just said that the albums since that were a lot better. There's some of the songs, REM songs, are a tough listen, a little too Cure-ish for me. Yeah.
Tom mentioned Kiss not selling as much as Rush. I think the albums need recertification. Alive has probably sold as much as Moving Pictures. Maybe. Sonny is an introvert? You seem so outgoing.
I can turn that on when I want to, but really, I don't like people.
None of us do.
Did you just say I can get turned on? I don't want to know about that stuff.
None of us like people. None of us like people. That's why we hide behind microphones.
Dude, we all hate everybody.
Exactly.
Let's be honest.
Exactly.
And I think when we're off the air, we hate each other. So
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it works.
Fuck you.
That's right.
That's why this show works.
Exactly.
We hate everybody.
I get Tom's point about liking two different kinds of music. My two favorite bands of all time are Iron Maiden and Faith No More, and they're on different spectrums. Yeah, but they still rock, like heavy stuff.
What kind of spectrum? Like Kiss spectrum?
It's a different episode. Our buddy Mac from the Ugly American Werewolf in London podcast. Great guys. That's a great show. Those guys are awesome. Two things you're right about when it comes to Rush. One, Geddy Lee is not a handsome man. Two, there aren't many hot girls to meet at a Rush show, so I just bring one along. And it's a picture of him and his significant other, wife, girlfriend, I'm not sure. And he's there with Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee. Looks like they're at the Snakes and Arrows tour. That is pretty awesome. Mac, thanks for sharing that one. Our buddy Angelo Capasso. I get it. Rush is either a love or a hate it band, but no denying their talent. These three guys can match up with any rock band, Zeppelin included.
What the fuck are we doing?
What are we doing? We're telling the truth.
Oh, I heard they're better than Elvis.
Oh,
well,
what are we doing? What are we doing?
That's a separate thing. You guys are all great moving pictures. Number one. And we got an email from America's favorite realtor. He's chiming in on Rush. This is the one I've been waiting for. Yes, Joey Romanek. Add me to the list with Tom, Tony, and Nige as a huge Rush fan. I've seen them 17 times. They are by far my favorite band ever. I nominated and voted for moving pictures in the last 2 Patreon picks. Seriously, because I knew that Zeus Sonny hated Rush, and I was dying to hear what they had to say. Now, us Rush fans could have picked a real clunker of an album to test the patience of them. Something like Caressive. Oh, it gets worse. Believe me, dude. If we picked Caressive Steel, Test for Echo, I'll Hold Your Fire, you would have all killed yourself live on video. Believe me, it would have happened. We went easy on you guys and picked what is arguably their biggest and most accessible album aside from Camera Eye. It's full of radio-friendly hits and short songs. Perfect for guys that like things simple. But man, you guys didn't disappoint. Starting things off right from the top by shitting on one of the greatest, most iconic rock songs ever, Tom Sawyer.
Who shit on it? I don't think we shit on it.
I don't know, but he says it's like hating your mom and Santa Claus all at the same time. In all seriousness, I get why some people don't like Rush, but their body of work is unparalleled. 3 members, 19 albums, 40 years, countless classics, thousands of musicians influenced, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. But yeah, this is better. Black Tiger.
There you go.
I like that. And we're going to finish off with our buddy, Tony Barone, who has been begging for Rush. And I know he's going to be thrilled with
God,
Rage.
I wish
ABCPA Inc.
Exactly.
I wish Tony was solemn. We'd get a better review right now.
We know what Tony thinks about Rush. We already have you on the show. You guys share a brain when it comes to the Rush hate. Tony says, while I listen to all the shows, I really do not send emails on a regular basis because I'm too busy trying to save taxpayers' money. That's a good self-promotion. I like it. Let me give a little history of why I'm such a huge Rush fan. I first heard 2112 on the WLUP radio station in 1976 when I was 9 years old. This led me to get the All the World's a Stage live album. I've been hooked since then. During this year and the next year, just for a frame of reference, I was listening to Kiss Alive and Destroyer, and the song remains the same. My uncle and cousin were 10 years older than me and really into music and would buy me the records. I remember when each of the Rush studio albums were released, starting with A Farewell to Kings and the same with Kiss and Destroyer. These are my 3 favorite bands and live albums still to this day. These 3 bands are so different, but still amazing in their own way. Some of my points on the review. While I understand that Rush may not be for everyone, however, I do not consider the ARC team and the Shout It Out Loudcast listeners just everyone. I believe that we are all huge fans of music in all forms and cannot see how Rush would not have a time and place into everyone's rotation, even if that rotation is only a few times a year. Zeus, you asked the question, what do I do with this? What I do is listen to the music altogether. I also listen to the music and just listen individually to each of the instruments or the lyrics. It's great to listen along and isolate the instruments. Yes, Tony, this is why I love you, buddy. The music has got me into the band and was worth it, even though Geddy's voice was difficult to get used to at the beginning. Question, Zeus. How would you have rated Permanent Waves if that was the selection?
I would have rated it higher
than Moving Pictures. Yeah, a lot of people do. Lastly, I looked through my ticket stubs to see the first concert I saw Rush, which was the Signals tour. I've seen them probably 20, 25 times. I know Tom would be jealous that I saw this set list. He can appreciate it. He sends a picture of a set list. Then he finds ticket stubs from Journey, REO Speedwagon, Maiden, Ozzy, all from 82 and 83. It's all about the music for me, and I would guess the Shout Out Loudcast listeners to listen to a variety of genres too. And then he ends with, yeah, AB, CPA Inc. Thanks, Tony, with some pictures of some awesome collection of ticket stubs. Yeah, Tony, love it, buddy. Love it. Awesome. Glad you had a fun time with it. And I know you'll be on my side with Rage. I don't know where everybody else is going to be, but we'll see.
Yeah, Tony is awesome. Let's just say that.
Absolutely. Yep. So there's feedback on Rush.
All right. Well, let's move this forward. We are going to do Rage Against the Machine first, kind of dipping our toes into the rap / hip hop slightly.
Barely.
Yeah. Tom, this is your pick. So why don't we start with you? Tell us why you picked this and how you got into Rage and all that stuff.
All right. 1992 in college. We're all listening to all kinds of stuff, grunge, alternative, heavy stuff, whatever. And Killing in the Name Of makes its way into the mainstream. Fuck you, I won't do what you told me, all that stuff. And everybody just jumps on board this album. We're at like the perfect age for this album. We're 19 years old. We're in college. Comes out, get the record, the CD, whatever, and just right away, just pulled into something completely unique, especially for me. This checks off pretty much all the boxes. It's heavy. It's got a groove. It's violent. It's angry. It's loud. It's bombastic. It's intelligent, even though I don't really agree with a single thing that these guys talk about. They do it with passion, and they're educated, and they know what they're talking about, even though I disagree with pretty much all of it. But I can subscribe to people who are passionate about something that they strongly believe in and are educated in what they believe in, even if I disagree. I respect that. So this checked off a ton of different things. And then I went and I've seen them a bunch of times, seen them in concert, saw them at Woodstock 99, saw them tour when they toured with Wu-Tang Clan. Holy shit, that was nuts. Saw them on the Lollapalooza tour with Alice in Chains. That was quite a show. And then I saw them at quite possibly the most frightening concert experience of my life. I saw them at a little civic center in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and I was terrified. It was the scariest, most crazy. And I saw them at Woodstock with 300,000 people, and I was more scared at this little Fitchburg Civic Center venue. It was incredible. But these guys, they're incredible musicians. I understand, and I know that you guys are going to have your opinions, and our listeners are too. I get it. The screaming, the loudness, I get it. But for me, there's a reason why I like all kinds of music. To me, like sometimes you want to listen to Kiss. You know, you want to throw on the fucking Crazy Nights album. Sometimes I like Elton John. I like that kind of stuff. I like Steely Dan. I like that kind of stuff. Sometimes I want to hear this. To me, music is like an emotional experience, depending on your mood. You want to sit back and chill. You want to play some music with your friends, your significant other, at a party, at a tailgate. Other times you just want to listen to something like this. And this kind of music, really, nobody does it better. The fact that every song is based on something that's important to them in some reality, political, cultural, whatever. They're just an incredible band. I've been hooked ever since. I have everything in their discography. Like I said, seen them 4 times. Was looking forward to seeing them again. Zack got injured, and that's all been shelved again. But they're just a unique band, and this album right out of the gates is just it's just a special album. And this really has nothing to do with nostalgia. When we talk about like Pearl Jam 10 or Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies, you throw in a lot of nostalgia. I don't really have a lot of nostalgia for this. It just came out when we were in college. I just love this album because I just love what it is. And, obviously we'll get into it more with the songs, but yeah, that's my story with Rage.
I'll jump in. Tom, I heard them the same time.
Yeah.
So I heard them because you were playing them.
Yeah.
And I heard it, and you'll remember this. I used to be like, dude, I don't like this. I didn't like it. I thought he was copying too much. In my mind, I didn't. Mind you, you're not reading it, you're not seeing it. We didn't even have cable when we were in college.
Right.
So I just felt that at the time, again, this is at the time, they were insincere, or they're jumping on a trend, trying to be alternative, trying to be angry, trying to upset. And what gets me is like Killing in the Name Of. I used to be like, telling you all the time, oh, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Yeah. Oh, you're against the authority. Oh, you're so crazy.
Oh, Rage Against the Machine, fist in the air.
Oh, we're going to take Pink Floyd's, hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. And we're going to be even crazier. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And I just remember hearing it. Now, over time and over, getting used to them and hearing more about them and getting to see more about them, I understood that my perception of them is completely wrong. They are very sincere. They believe their stuff. They're passionate as all fuck. And I I never got into them. The only thing I ever got into them about was on the Crow soundtrack. I love Darkness.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was kind of a demo, and it was B-sides on some of the singles from this album as well.
Yep.
That was it. That was my kind of thing into Rage, and I never really stayed with them. And then when a little bit with Morello went over and did some Audio Slave, I jumped on that a little bit, but never got into them. This is the first I'm hearing this album all the way through. Now, I've heard other songs from college, but this is the first time I owned it when I bought it. When you told me we're doing it a couple weeks ago, I bought it. So
okay,
that's my take. Sonny.
Oh, Sonny.
All right. So when this album comes out, I'm in my early 20s, and I didn't go to a traditional college. I graduated out of high school early and just kind of started working. I ended up getting my degree much later on, but I was trying to get into the music business, and I started meeting different people at Target. You know, you get out of your like high school group and you start meeting other people, and I was trying to get into the music business. I didn't have enough talent to be a songwriter, so I was trying to manage bands, and I'm in the Bay Area, and the musical scene is changing, and you know, I was getting jealous of some of the rappers and the hip hop guys because I was trying to be a lyricist, and these guys had something, right? And they could deliver it in a way. So if you think about it, like these bands did a good job, like Public Enemy, like joining up with Anthrax, and Faith No More with Epic is coming right out at 90. Hammers from where I grew up. Ice Cube's coming out. Red Hot Chili Peppers is getting hot. The Run DMC Aerosmith thing had already happened. Then you got like Tone Loc ripping the Eddie Van Halen lick thing in 90, and you got Insane Cloud Posse coming. You got NWA. You got Naughty by Nature. Like this rock and like hip hop rap thing is starting to like mesh. So I was getting interested. I loved Extreme because of the funk. Some of these guys added some funk in. I loved the slappity slap of the bass, right? Because I was I was really liking the 70s funk stuff. So it was kind of like I was finding out that there's more than just like, you know, pepperoni and extra cheese on a pizza, basically, right? So I started getting into it. I like some of the stuff from the 70s, from my 20s still. Don't hear what I didn't say. I said some of the stuff. I had heard a couple of Rage songs. I had heard two. I'd heard Bullet in My Head, and I had heard Killing in the Name. And I'm like, okay, they're angry. Whatever. I'm going to go do karaoke, get laid. Like these guys, whatever. They just did not turn me on whatsoever. I had never heard the rest of the album until Halloween night this year. That was the first time I heard it in full. I did not buy it. I'm like, I am not wasting fucking $2.99 in the clearance bin to buy this shitty album. I'm just gonna listen to it on Spotify, and let's just see where we go from there. I will tell you, I listened several times because I wanted to give it a shot. So I'll give you my thoughts on the songs later. But really, yeah, Rage just, it came out at the right time, and I was kind of interested in that stuff, but they just kind of came off like angry guys, and I'm like, look, I'm trying to get laid, and these guys don't help me there, so whatever.
Yeah, I think I think that one of the big things with Rush was that, at the time we weren't really focusing like on the lyrics. I think that's kind of like the double-edged sword in a good way. I think when I think about Rage is that musically they pull you in because they're heavy, they're aggressive, but they got a groove. They got that funk vibe when they want to. They got that real like slow boil, that we'll get into with some of the other stuff. And then as you get older, you're like, well, what the hell is Fistful of Steel about? What is Wake Up? What are they talking about? And again, like Zeus said, we didn't have cable, we didn't have the internet in college, so we're like, I don't know what the hell these guys are talking. I don't know what are they talking about? Like that, they're not talking about girls, they're not talking about fucking, they're not talking about drinking, they're not talking about partying. What is this? So to me, that's one of the things that kind of made them stood out and made them even more interesting is that they weren't like some obnoxious Limp Bizkit, or they weren't talking about, getting high or they were talking about stuff like that. It wasn't to me, it wasn't like cheesy. It wasn't corny. It was like, okay, like these guys are into something. And then like Zeus said, as you get older, and for me being a fan, I mean, I have a book called Know Your Enemy, Rage Against the Machine, written by Joel McIver. It's a story of the band. Like, and you start to realize like why these guys became the band that they are, why they sing about what they sing about, how educated they are, how they're personally invested in the songs that they write and perform. So to me, that's like I said earlier, that's credibility there. Again, whether or not you agree or disagree, that's a completely separate topic. But when you're listening to guys this angry, like legitimately angry, like raging against the machine, and you find out why, to me, I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like these guys aren't like posers, quote unquote. But I think above all the lyrical content, I think musically, to me, they just fucking kick ass. They just rock. And this album rocks like none of their other albums. The second album, Evil Empire, a little bit more fine-tuned with some of the songs. This song is very, 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 very raw and aggressive. I mean, it's like a baseball bat to the back of the head, pretty much every song. The next one after that, Battle of Los Angeles, more sophisticated songwriting, still structurally angry and stuff. But this album right here, I think, is just untouchable in their catalog. And I guess you either like it or you don't. It's funny. It's kind of like Rush. You either like it or you don't. It's not mainstream, I guess. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, I'm underground. It's just it's not easily accessible. You're not gonna be like, hey, you guys want to hang out? We're gonna have a couple beers and listen to like Rage Against the Machine. Oh, my girlfriend's coming over. We're gonna play fucking Bullet in the Head. Like you're not gonna do that.
Thank you. Good night. We'll see you next
We'll see you guys later. All right. Fuck you. We'll do what you told me.
All right. Speaking of being angry and having something to say, let's talk about that album cover.
Oof. Yikes. Yeah. The album cover on the original release. Okay. If you they put out a 20th anniversary edition, and the picture is that much more graphic because it's zoomed out. So you're seeing the monk who's on fire. You're seeing the car. You're seeing the crowd. You're seeing the big jug of gasoline. The zoomed in photo here, you can see what you're seeing, but it's got a much more, to me, a bigger impact when you see it cropped outward and seeing how he's literally sitting in a street. And the picture, it's taken by Malcolm Brown. And it's a picture of a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. I'm not going to be able to pronounce this right, but Thich Quang Duc.
Fish Quan Duck.
Yeah, there you go. And it was a picture taken in Saigon in 1963, and he was protesting the president at the time, who was corrupt, No Din Diem. Okay. And this guy apparently was oppressing the country's Buddhist religion. Din Diem was a Catholic. He was an anti-communist. He was eventually captured and assassinated in a military coup in 1963 by the United States. Apparently the photograph was so moving that it got widespread international attention, and President JFK withdrew its support for President Diem's government. So the picture, it served its purpose. I mean, there is no bigger protest than literally setting yourself on fire in the middle of a street. And it's shocking. I mean, I remember when this came out and everyone's like, is that guy on fire? And again, no internet, no way to figure out what this is. But I urge you, if you have not seen the 20th anniversary edition of this album, it's a clear photo and it's zoomed out. And I mistakenly, for the first time ever, was Googling some information about this cover, and I came across an article that shows the picture of this monk after he set himself on fire. Yeah, it's. I was like, I did not need, because right here, I
can't believe he survived.
That's the thing that's so shocking about this picture, is that, well, I don't think he survived. I'm pretty sure he was
You're thinking of Jay Leno.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, I got myself a little fire here. I don't know.
The shocking thing about this picture is the album cover that you see, the right side of his body is still like intact. The left side of his body is up in flames. There's a picture that like I said, when I was Googling some more information about this, where there's a picture of him fully engulfed and just like a burnt marshmallow. Like it's horrendous. It's a horrendous fucking picture.
On that happy note.
Yeah. But that's the picture. And again, I think it shows that, okay, these guys aren't fucking around. They didn't pick, the album cover is not like a fist in the air or a gun or like a fight. It's a picture of a real photo that had real impact on history.
So it's not look what the cat dragged in.
It is not look what the cat dragged
or Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, it's not that. So I mean, again, I'm kind of impressed with it, especially reading like the story of, JFK kind of was involved, it was like, shit, these are bad people. But I think it's kind of interesting. Quite a unique album cover from, like Zeus said, it's not snakes and titties, and it's not look what the cat dragged in.
Yeah, it's that whole he's calm, he doesn't show any sign of pain or agony, and basically somebody dumps a bunch of gasoline on him and he just strikes a match. Wow. It's a statement, that's for sure, that is different. I remember seeing the album cover, when you're flipping through albums, at a record store or whatever, going, that's interesting. And then I just kind of, I didn't know the history lesson or whatever, and I didn't really care. So I was like, eh. But kind of looking into it, it is a very interesting cover. This is not cow semen and blood, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the closest thing I've ever seen to this was when Sonny almost did this during the Rush episode.
Yeah, almost.
He was. We had to talk him off from lighting the match because he was about to set himself on fire.
It was like the scene in Airplane. When people listen to Ted Stryker's stories.
Don't bring up Zeus. Don't bring up Airplane. That's another movie that Sonny thinks is stupid.
It is terrible.
Oh my
terrible
God.
movie. One of the worst acted movies.
It's a spoof. It's not supposed to have good acting.
Matter. It's stupid.
Why do you hate fun?
Do you like Mel Brooks movies?
No.
Do you like fun?
No, obviously not.
All right. I think the image is thought provoking. It's out there. It gets your attention. It all depends on what you want to say. Does that image go for Warrant's fourth album cover? No. Does it work for maybe Rage Against the Machine's debut album cover? Yes. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
And we'll get into it when we rank these damn things. So let's get a little bit of information. So the album was released November 3rd, 1992. It only made it up to U.S. Billboard. Think about this. It's triple platinum. It made it only to 45 and triple platinum. If anything sold 3 million copies now, it'd be number one for 4 years.
What's interesting about that release date?
Yeah. It's the day of the 1992 presidential election date where Bill Clinton, I beat that Bush guy against Herbert Walker Bush.
That's right.
Ross Perot, you people over here, and then you people.
And you know what else is interesting during the production of this album?
No.
The LA riots occurred.
Well, yeah, I mean they're quoted in a lot of these songs.
Though. Yeah, so, of course.
Yeah,
killing
I can tell you why it didn't get higher than 45 because it's hard to get women to listen to. Burn, burn. You're gonna burn.
No, but I understand that. But I'm saying like it still sold 3 million copies and never went up over 45. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
It went to number 24 on Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Metal Albums.
Yep.
And number 368 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. It's produced by Gigi Garth, otherwise known as Garth Richardson, who did like alternative stuff, I thought I saw, like the Melvins and L7. And Ugly Kid Joe. Remember that band?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. And also by Rage Against the Machine.
That's one of the things, just to comment quickly on the production. I think to me, that's one of the things that stands out about this album that really doesn't date it per se, is the production is impeccable. 4 guys, vocalist, drummer, bass player, drums. Every instrument sounds like it is trying to break your skull in half, especially the drums.
So one of the things I think I saw somewhere that they talk about on their album covers, like no synth, no
That's right.
fucking keyboards.
No samples, keyboards, or synthesizers used in the making of this recording. Yes, that's what they put on there.
That was getting popular in the early 90s to write that on your thing because everybody
Tesla
was like,
did
we're
it.
not Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, right. Well, in the 80s with all the keyboards and shit. Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
Didn't Tesla always talk about like doing their shit live on the studio on their albums?
Did they?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. Maybe.
I think there was
Recorded
live recording happening, but they
Yeah. No, but they always say recorded live in the studio. Also, everything is done. All lyrics in music is credited to all four.
Yep.
So it's Zack Della and it's Rocha, correct?
That's mostly people say Rocha, but I think it's Rocha. Yeah.
Rocha's pronounced, I saw. Yeah. Tom Morello, guitar. Timmy C, better known as Timmy Commerford, bass. And Brad Wilk on drums. The one thing I will say, Tom, you made a point just now. I will say, I can hear every instrument on this when you talk about
I love it. Yep.
It's very Rush-like. I can hear the bass. I can hear when the guitar comes in. They have a unique sound. I can hear the drums. So if I want to listen to one of their songs and pick out the drums, I can hear the drums all the way through. It's not blended in and you can't really, you have a hard time focusing. So yeah, the production is kind of unique.
Yep. Just one thing I want to bring up when I was reading this book, again, it's called Know Your Enemy, Rage Against the Machine by Joel McIver. One of the things that Tom Morello brought up was kind of like the conflict of interest about being a band that's raging against the machine, but signing record deals with multi-billion-dollar corporations, and how do you rectify that? How do you explain it to the kids or your fans or people that are kind of into that?
Or the fact that he went to Harvard.
Well, yeah, that too. He says, we're interested in freeing people from prison, in getting people new trials, in combating sweatshops, in stopping the rise of neo-Nazism in Europe. We're interested in donating as much food as possible to our food banks, providing as much assistance as possible to our nation's homeless. These are all endeavors which we're able to undertake in part because of our affiliation with Epic Records. He says, you have two choices. I admire bands like Fugazi that take the other route. They're completely self-contained and independent. But if you do that, then you have to be a businessman. Then I have to sit there and worry about shipping orders to Belgium. That is not what I'm going to do. We've had in Rage Against the Machine complete artistic control, 100% over everything. Every second of every video, every second of every album, every bit of advertisement comes from us. You live in a capitalist world. If you want to sell 45s out of the back of your microbus, God bless you. And maybe that works better. I don't know, but I'll see you all at the finish line.
Good for him.
Kind of interesting. I mean,
better answer that because you are going to get a lot of shit. People saying you're fucking hypocrites.
He absolutely did, and that's why. And of course, Tom Morello is going to be the spokesman because he's the more articulate guy. Zack would be like, "Fuck you, I won't do what you told me," and that's about it. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting because I know a lot. I remember even me. I'm like, how do these guys rage against the machine when they're signed by Epic or Sony, whoever, and touring with Lollapalooza and all these corporate people? You know what I mean?
Dude, I think these guys are so far left. I think they're
not even left. They fell off.
Yeah, they're past Antifa.
Oh yeah, well, Morello's. I mean, he throws the word anarchist around sometimes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right.
Shit.
Interesting that the first song is called this.
Bomb track. All right. So first 25 seconds, I'm like, I don't really know what I'm getting into. Kind of sounds normal. And then soon we get to burn, burn. Yeah, you're going to burn, burn. So, okay, I've said it on this podcast before. I am not a fan of political type songs. I don't like the Trump did this, Reagan did that, Clinton smoked this, Bush did somebody, whatever. I don't care. I can be, however, a fan of some quote unquote against the man government in general. Nothing. I don't want people taking shots at Clinton. Doesn't mean I'm a Clinton supporter. I guess I'll say I don't want people taking shots at Trump either. Whatever, right? If you got something to say against just organized religion or organized government, I think I'm more willing to listen to that. I also can be a fan of a history lesson. That's why I love Maiden. So the song does a good job of like being angry, still maintaining some composure, so it's pleasing to the ear. Love the earworms. Like when Zack says businesses in the first verse, and as he's saying it, the bass drum is in unison with him. Like that shit is crazy.
Yes.
Right? The groove is amazing. I love the rap oriented. You know, that's the lyrics are what they are. Power whores, whatever. It's something about the collective four of them, though, that can kind of sell what they're saying. So that's cool. The vocal angry is cool. The chorus is boring as fuck, unless you're actually lighting people on fire. Then I'm sure it's probably not boring. But besides that, what a great fucking opener. Like, it really does kick you in the head. And for guys like me that came from music I liked listening to that had a lot of melody and you could sing along, it's hard to kind of rap along with Zack. But man, what a great opener.
Yeah, well said. I'm you said it perfectly, because I'm fully on board with, and I think you said it perfectly about rage. The general rage, and not like when Eddie Vedder gets up and does a rant about George Bush or whatever, like a specific, but raging against the machine, whether it's the justice system, the incarceration, criminal justice, the government, the educate, like something like that. Like I can get behind that, even if I sure as shit don't agree with a single word you're saying. But to me, the thing that really just first of all, what an intro. Like you said, it starts off like, and then when it literally is like, obviously not literally, it is just a double-barreled punch to the face when that drum kicks in, and it's like, and then he's just like, it's just another bomb track, and all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck? Because when I bought this, the only thing I knew was Killing in the Name of. So when you hear this is the intro, and the burn, yes, you're gonna burn. He can rap. He can do it. And I'm a hip hop guy. I loved it all the way from the 80s all the way until present day. He can do it, but he can also find a way to like sing a little bit. You know, he can sing. And there's other songs here where he's doing a little bit of singing. Incredible opener. I mean, right off the bat, you know what you're in for. Great opener. Unbelievable groove. These guys know how to do it, and they just do it well. That's why I love this album.
So all the songs, like I said earlier, are all credited to everybody.
Yep.
I believe Zack does write all the lyrics, though.
Yep.
And they do a little Rush thing most of the time, where they just credit everybody in the band, kind of like REM does.
Yep.
Everybody gets credit for a song writing. You know, it's talking about landlords and power whores are gonna burn. Yeah. Manifest Destiny. I'm like, holy shit, my social studies and history courses
exactly
paying off.
Yep.
Again, this isn't my type of music, but I try to find something. Why do I know the song? Because after a while, if you hear this all the way through, with the exception of fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, because it just stands out as, you know, the swearing. You hear just a lot of fucking screaming.
Yeah.
So, and the music is just boom, boom. Like, so I'm trying to pick it out. A lot of these ones that I don't know they bleed into the next song. I can't tell them apart musically, because they all sound pretty heavy. There's no, oh, that's the ballad on the album. Oh, right. That's the mid-tempo. Oh, this is the fast song. So they're all very similar. But what I do pick up on is he has these catchphrases, or maybe it's the chorus or something so the whole burn. So as soon as you said burn, you know, you're gonna burn, I know what song you're talking about. Yeah, and there's stuff on this album that I may not, you tell me how fucking Fistful of Steel sounds. I have no idea what the difference in that and I don't know, Wake Up. but I'll tell you some lines that I'll pick up that I can tell what song they're from. And that's how I can tell the difference. So again, these aren't Turn On the Night where I'm like, turn on the night.
What?
Like
you could fist pump Burn. Yes, you're going to burn.
You get the point. It's not a melody that I'm going to be humming, but I can remember the song. And yeah, I do remember it. And I will say this, Tom, I'm not big into hip hop. The hip hop tree that I always follow, and you know this, we talk about this all the time, is NWA. I can listen to NWA all the way through that family tree of that Dr. Dre style of hip hop rap.
Yep.
So I can listen to MC Ren, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Snoop, all that shit through, Ice Cube. But when you start getting too different, I'm like, I don't like this shit. So, but his voice, I like it. He's got some bass behind his voice. He's got a quality in his vocal delivery that you pick up, and there's like that anger, but there's that authenticity.
Yeah.
So you'll hear about it in certain country music. There's they all sound the same, but certain ones, the good ones, you pick up the authenticity. I think the same with hip hop.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying the same stuff. Everybody's rapping. Who do you believe when they're saying?
It's a good way to put it.
Do you believe NWA when they're fucking saying fuck the police? I sure as hell did.
Which, by the way, I shared with you. Rage did a cover of "Fuck the Police" at a live concert, and it was like terrifying.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
But the same thing here. Yeah. I like the track. I think he's got. I'm hearing stuff that I haven't heard. I may have heard it once or twice in my life, but I don't remember this. Yeah. And it's pretty good. So. Let's go to, there's a video.
Oh, yeah.
There's a video. And they're in some sort of makeshift dime store, rock like a hurricane prison.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And in between them in black and white, their band, there's images of these guerrilla warfare in Peru. And you read about what the song's about and the video's all about. And it's like, yeah, fuck the U.S. government helping them out and doing all this. We're with the people against the. And you're like, dude, that's our government, you fucking asshole.
Exactly.
You're part of you. It's like, I don't want to like this now anymore, you fucking prick.
It's right. And one thing I like about the video or the band in general, because I've seen them in concert a bunch of times. All of these guys, including the drummer, they're wicked into what they're doing. Nobody is sitting.
They're believers. They're true believers.
Like they are like if you didn't know any better, you would think that these guys are just like performing like for free, like on a corner, because like they are just all over the place in terms of their energy.
Meanwhile, Tom Morello is the biggest Kiss fan. Dude, how do you go from this band to buy our pinball machine?
It's true. And he loves Zeppelin too. He used to be in like a Zeppelin cover band or something. He loves all that stuff.
Yep. Anyway,
I like that they were in a cage. It's like, it's like little kids in a cage raging. Got the bass player, looks like he's a skater.
Yep.
Morello really screams nerd with the guitar
high up. Yeah.
Right.
He looks like the guy from SNL. Fucking G.E. Smith.
G.E. Smith in the Saturday Night Live band.
Like his guitar does not look rocking.
The one thing I like about Morello's guitar is how for some reason, he always has an extra 10 feet of string hanging off the neck. He always does that.
But I love that the video actually has something to connect with the song. And these fucking dolphins and people coming out of the ocean and shit. Like it's like I can understand here's a dumb rocker that's watching this video going, wait a second, rewind. What's that say? Oh man, shit, they like massacred women? Shit. What the hell was this about? Right? And I will go to Wikipedia and read all about this. I'm like, shit, I didn't know all this stuff was happening. I was just trying to get laid.
What? Fuck the US. Yeah, I agree.
Fuck our country. Oh, that's nice.
Exactly.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, speaking of fuck things, let's go to the next one. Oh, by the way, and one last thing. This was actually the third single. Yep. None of these, I believe, charted, at least not in the U.S., which is a very unique thing. Other countries are more liberal about this type of, outlandish, outlaw type of rebellious songs, but not the U.S.
Yep.
Like, we're too stuffy, fucking pilgrim shit mentality. So,
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next track.
Killing in the Name. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. Wow. Okay. Screaming at the top of his lungs. I mean, Zack is like literally violent in the vocal. Love the cowbell start. The bass super thumps. That guitar lick. Oh, man. What great funk. Just so much groove. Love the alien guitar solo all the way around. Now, Tommy, I got a couple of questions on the lyrics, though. Is he saying some of those that work forces, or is he saying some of those that were forces? Were makes more sense.
Work
forces. Okay.
Because what he's implying as the people that are in uniform, whether it's our police or our military, they're also white supremacists. They're Nazis. So they work forces, but they also burn crosses. That's
so
what he's
it's not bore, it's burn.
Say that again.
So it's not. Is it are the same that burn crosses? It's not the same that bore crosses.
Burn.
See, that would work, right?
No.
Some of those that were forces are the same that bore crosses. That would work too.
No, it's some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. And the reason this is so tricky to figure out, I mean, yes, we have the internet. It's the only song on the entire album that does not present the lyrics.
Okay.
On the liner notes for the vinyl and the CD, it has all the lyrics. For Killing in the Name of, it just has the song title, because there's really like one recurring verse.
All right, so I got a trivia.
Those who died,
right. Exactly.
All right. So I got a trivia question. I'll have Zeus answer first. Zeus,
wrong.
How many unique words are in this song? In the lyrics? And I am counting as a word. How
22.
many unique words?
22.
Tommy.
God, I don't know. 40.
40. The number is 48.
Ooh, all right. Okay.
The unique words are.
Oh, God, here it comes.
And our badge burn, but by chosen come control crosses die do. For forces fuck I in justify, justify, killing me, motherfucker, name now, of on, same, some, tell, that, the, they, there, those told, under, wearing, well, what, whites, who, won't, work, yeah, you, and your. Okay, look. I get it. They're trying to tell a story about police brutality. Zack, you're going to have to say a few more fucking words. You can't say the same words over and over and and over.
Dude,
does not tell a story.
Have you never heard a Nirvana song? They have way less.
No, he hates Nirvana.
That's why I don't like that.
They have way less than that. They have songs with less than 20 words easily.
Such a great
repeating
song,
the same thing.
But that whole just repeating the same thing over and over just gets old after a while, because the song is so great besides that. Like that's the part of the song that just turns me off. I absolutely love that whole story around December 2009.
Oh my God.
And you don't want X Factor to win that whole thing. That unbelievable story. So that part was cool, but this saying the same thing over and over, that got old quick.
So I think the point, I hear what you're saying. I think that's the point of the song, is repeating the same words over and over and over again to get the message. So it's not like Bomb Track, or it's not like some of the other songs that we're going to get into where he's telling like a story or describing an incident. This is almost like he's just like reciting like not a pledge, but like he's reciting almost like a belief system, almost, like a prayer, for lack of a better word. I think that's kind of the point, but I get what you're saying. Like it gets the repetitive. It's insane. But so this is the first example of a song on this album about why I love Rage, and specifically this album. Just when you think the song is kind of getting ready to wrap up, the song completely shifts gears. And then I kind of describe it as almost like the song becomes like a stick of dynamite. All of a sudden the band just starts like rumbling, and things are like roiling over, and kind of shit's going kind of sideways. And then it just fucking boom, just blows up with the band with Zack, with the screaming. There's a couple other songs that do it a little bit better than this, maybe because I've heard Killing in the Name of a million times for 30 years. But I'll tell you right now, seeing this song performed live, when the band kicks into gear and he's saying, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, which he says 16 times, by the way. When he says that, the wave of people just bouncing is just incredible. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, there's a reason this song is just so legendary. I think you said it, Sonny. It's simple, and fuck you, I won't do what you told me. That's it. I mean, what else can you say?
Gen X, Killing in the Name. It was the lead single. It only made it to number 25 in the UK. Rolling Stone has it number 24, greatest guitar song of the top 100 guitar songs. I think it's number 207, greatest songs of the top 500.
Wow.
Guitar World had it number 89, 100 greatest guitar solo. It's obviously inspired by Rodney King and the riots and all that song, all that stuff. This is the song that I was talking to you about, Tom. I knew this song. I knew it, and I had a hard time with it a little bit in the beginning, feeling it might have been a little bit easy. Kind of like when Green Day kind of came out. I felt there was a lot of that. Oh, I'm going to be like Kurt Cobain now. I've got angst. I'm angry. And it didn't come off as sincere.
Yep.
And, I obviously they are sincere. I remember Axis, going to the bar, Axis in Boston.
Yeah.
In the 90s, I used to go and they would put rock dance music. So you'd be in the club and they'd have Beastie Boys. They'd have this song come on. And just like you said, as soon as that last part came up and the build up, the whole fucking club was jumping up and down. It was fucking insane. They would play Lithium by Nirvana. So you can imagine the whole crowd was just, it's the 90s, man. Oh.
Like imagine a club nowadays playing rock music, not for people to sit back and drink to, for people to dance to.
Yeah, they would do that. You'd have stuff like It's the End of the World, and you know it, like shit like that, like dance rock music.
Yep.
And it worked. I like the buildup, that crescendo that comes off when he starts screaming. And then the way he just takes it from that whole the repetition that Sonny was talking about, some of those that work force, and you got that bass, and you're almost going along when you hear it and you start saying those words, you're almost starting to do that bouncing. You're doing that bounce when you're saying it, and then it just goes, now you do what you told you. Now you do it. And then all of a sudden it builds up to now you're the guy that's in the song fighting back, like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
In the reality, you ain't doing shit. Go back to your fucking cube and shut the fuck up. But that solo, that fucking Tom Morello, Eddie Van Halen drill that he does in that album. What was that, Pound Cake, where he had the thing?
Yeah. Yep.
That's all I hear in this. I'm like, what the fuck is he making that? That tone is all his own. I can pick his tone out anywhere now.
He does. He's not only is that tone, but he's on record as saying, like, he'll do stuff like he'll unplug like his guitar cable and like let it sit on the connection and let like interference come up, or he'll take like an Allen wrench and rub it up against like the fretboard or something, or he'll stand in front of like the amplifier and look for like dissonant feedback. Like he's like doing like science projects instead of rocking out. Exactly.
In the middle of a song.
Yep.
And at the end, when he starts screaming, motherfucker.
That's the best part of the song right there. That is the best part. So? That is why I love the band.
Okay. I think it sounds corny, and I'll tell you why. It sounds like Sergeant Kickass on Surprise. You remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you, you motherfucker.
See, I like it because to me, that's where I'm like, okay, this guy's legitimately angry.
Oh, of course he is. He's screaming that out. You can tell when he's in the studio, lights are probably out, and he's fucking barking out. But it just reminds me of Surprise 2 from NWA.
Great song.
And then, Tom, you forgot to mention what happened in Woodstock 99 when he played this song.
They weren't really responsible for the chaos that went there.
Oh, I think something got burnt. What
They
did
weren't-
do at the end of the song?
They weren't playing when that happened.
It's not the fact that they caused the fires, but they did burn something at the end of the song.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the American flag. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the American flag, which they were famous for doing, which they got in trouble with Saturday Night Live. They were on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah.
They played one song and then they booted them because they were about to do something during the second song. Yeah.
Exactly.
They love doing the upside down flag and burning it and all that shit.
Yeah. There is a video.
Yep.
Another live performance type video, black and white. Same thing, right?
Yep.
Anybody want to comment on the video?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool video because it just shows the band like just raw and aggressive. You know, it's from two different shows. It's from the Whiskey and with the Club with No Name, two places in LA, and it was produced and directed by one of Tom Morello's guitar students who had like a camera, and it's just kind of like raw, you know. And it just shows the energy of the band, the energy of the crowd fighting with a security guard. Fuck you, I won't do what you told me. Oh, you're so crazy. You know,
Was that Stephen Michael?
yeah.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Oh God. Go ahead, Sonny.
I like all the camera movement. I like they added the slow motion every once in a while.
Yeah.
The lighting on Zack to kind of make him look evil.
Yep.
Right. The explicit lyrics that are kind of playing as it goes. I would tell you, like, if I saw that video, it would want to make me see them live. Like if that what the video was supposed to do, okay, it did it.
Yep.
It felt like some of the Pearl Jam videos.
Oh yeah.
Kind of right. It would kind of just
flow.
next level. Like
Yep.
Pearl Jam wasn't maybe as crazy.
Right. Okay. That's a good one. Yep.
It's the opposite for me. I ain't going in there. I'm not about to get stabbed or fucking my jaw broken in the
You
middle
won't
of
get
that.
stabbed. You'll probably just get your arm broken or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That scares me.
Yeah.
All right. Song number 3.
Take the power back, motherfuck Uncle Sam. All right. Love the beginning with the instruments coming in little by little, all the earworms moving from ear to ear in the headphones. I had said it before. I love the slappity slap of the bass, man. That funk is so like Red Hot Chili Peppers to me. Put it out there with a great riff. The chorus actually has a melody, even though it's not super complicated. Then that like, oh shit. And then the guitar solo comes. And then that bridge music to the next verse is almost like Sly and the Family Stone. Almost sounded like I Want to Take You Higher. Had a little bit of that in there a little bit. And then the rebuild to the next chorus, just so many earworms. I think I heard calypso drums in there somewhere. And then you got like about a minute left, and you get this calming sound.
Yes.
Like maybe it's, I just offed all these fucking people and I need to breathe deep. And then you get punched in the head the last 30 seconds. So I'm listening to this song for the first time. I'd never heard it till Halloween. Bobbing my head, kind of shaking my ass. I'm like, I think I want to like punch somebody.
Yeah.
Right? I've never heard this song before. So I'm like, all right, let me listen again. First time I heard it, listened to the song 5-6 times in a row. Fucking incredible song. How I missed this for 30 fucking years.
Wow.
When I was listening to like Megadeth and Disturbed and Godsmack on the way to stores that I knew were going to look like shit and I need to get angry. Fuck, I could have just been listening to this. Where the hell has this been? So just goes to show you, this isn't the song I heard when I first heard Rage. Otherwise, I probably get into it immediately because it checked more boxes for me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is when I hear Morello saying shit like, look, yeah, we signed with Epic and I'm letting my voice be heard this way. He's right. Fuck you if you want to do it out of your basement, you want to be underground. I can do it at this level and still have a voice and do it my way. Why wouldn't you want to do that? So Great song. Great.
Yeah. It's funny because I like you getting three songs, 3 different kinds of songs. Like this is like quote unquote, like accessible for Rage. It actually has like a standard format, a standard beat, a rhythm, an incredible groove with that bass and drums. Those guys are insane. a pretty basic solo, not insulting but a more standard, not like the noisy kind of stuff that Morello is known for doing. It's got that crazy breakdown in the middle where Morello's kind of shitting on the teacher. The teacher stands in front of the class, but the lesson plan he can't recall, like all that stuff. And then, like Sonny, you said it. This is what I love about this album in particular is you think the song is over, and it's not. And it's just the band is firing on so many cylinders. Like they are so like in the groove together. And the fact that it's just the three musicians, like I said, bass, drums, guitar. That's all this band needs. It doesn't need anything else because they are so powerful. And this song is just, it's different. It's different from Bomb Track, and it's different from Killing in the Name of, and it's different in a good way. Great tune.
Take the power back. I talked about the groovy bass, and obviously to me, this is a tip of the hat to Fight the Power from Public Enemy.
Yep. And
got a little bit of similarity. There's a lot of bass and a nice, fast, speedy solo there. And Tom, you've already mentioned it, that whole breakdown about the teacher stands in front of the class. I love it. No music and just his voice. And then it picks up. They're dropping terms like the weatherman.
Yes.
In the lyrics.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody knows, go ask Barack Obama. He wants to hear about the weatherman. This is pre-Obama, and he's dropping the weatherman. Yeah. I think any Fox News listeners are being triggered right now. Did he just say the weatherman? I'm not listening to this shit.
We brought that up when he was friends with Bill Ayers. God damn it.
When he was palling around. Remember that?
Palling around with Bill Ayers. That's right. Yep. Yeah, and if you guys don't know who the weathermen are, research it. They're not good people.
Dude, wait till we do our fucking dorm damage about Fox News personalities in the 90s. Yeah, there's just that whole at the end. Remember, I talked to you guys in the beginning about there's certain things I don't remember. Like I know this chorus is in my head. Take the power back. Yep. But there's that breakdown, that soft guitar. I love that little breakdown. No more lies. No more lies. I fucking love that. That's part that sticks out for me on this. So, we're on a roll. We haven't hit anything bad yet.
Settle for nothing. All right. So when it first started, I'm like, it sounded Soundgarden to me. When the song kicked in about a minute in, I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's more like Black Sabbath. I'm like, Black Sabbath, Soundgarden. Okay, I get it. Like all the volume swells and the sounds from the guitar, the scratches he's doing like in one ear of the headphones and not the other one. But overall, I didn't love the pace of the songs because when Zack like goes angry, it's almost like it's uncontrollable. And then you add this like dreary, down-tuned Black Sabbath feel to it, and I kind of lost a little bit of interest. Halfway through the song, that guitar solo is completely different feel than the song, which I actually like the guitar solo. But that's in the end really the only thing I super liked. And I get it. If we don't take action now, we'll settle for nothing later. Thanks, Zack. Like noted. Right. But I started thinking after this fourth song, I'm like, fuck, these guys got to be careful. You say go burn shit, people will go burn shit. Like after watching the video for Killing in the Name, and I'm listening to these songs going, good Lord, you got teenage kids out there. These guys got to be very careful because they got a voice and they could be very dangerous.
Yeah, and when they weren't around in the internet age when this came out in the social media age, you're right. So Settle for Nothing. So it's a fourth song and completely different song. You're seeing a side of Rage. You're like, oh wow, this is kind of weird. Like they just blew my face off for 3 songs in a row. Now what are they doing? It's different. I like it. I mean, it's not what you always want to hear from Rage when you listen to them, but I like that they can do this. The very slow, painfully kind of calm and like thoughtful song that kind of like occasionally rips into these outbursts of anger. Morello with like those dissonant kind of like sounds that are kind of swirling in the background, kind of making it like uncomfortable for you to listen to. I love the line And I love the way he says it when he says, if ignorance is bliss, then wipe the smile from my face. Like, I think that is just so awesome. And then it goes into that really cool solo. And you're like, what is going on right now? The band is kind of grooving right now. It's like we're in like a jazz club here. It's like, if we don't say something now, we'll settle for nothing later. And then you can feel that Rage Against the Machine swell. And then all of a sudden he explodes. Morello's guitar is just like making these like horrible sounds that sound like so uncomfortable. And again, that's the point of the song. For that reason, I love it. It's a different version of what Rage does. And they do it well. And Zack, again, it's basic kind of cry for let's do something, settle for nothing. But I don't know, they do it well.
All right. So settle for nothing. Sonny, I had written, this is 90s alternative style opening. That's a 90s. This is something we would hear on shuffle. That opening is definitely that sort of grunge. We would call it alternative.
Yeah.
Just like we didn't call it grunge then. Just like we didn't call hair metal when it was happening.
That's right.
It's almost like the dreamy part of Coma.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
Right? That whole section where they like the guitar is just like, and you're like in this like little world. Every time I think he's at his boiling point, angriest, I find another song he's even more angry.
Yep.
He needs some therapy like that works, not that Paul Stanley therapy where you're more fucked up than ever. Like real therapy this guy needs, because he is very upset. And that middle part of that solo, that whole shit that was going on, that solo, favorite part of the whole song.
Yeah.
Favorite part. I think it reminds me of One from Metallica.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That whole shit is so good because I know no way is this song going to end like this.
Right.
There's got to be a swelling. Something's coming.
Yep.
And you can feel it. It's like that guy that we talked about, that guy, Jacob Givens, who does those TikTok and videos.
Yep.
And he did one of Freedom. He's like, these guys are angry, but I'm learning. And the guy's like bobbing his head. And he's like, wait.
He's angry. No, I'm angry too.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse. And they're like, oh shit.
Yep.
That's what I feel like in a lot of these Rage songs. And the whole, I'm sorry, but I think this is my favorite of all his phrases. You settle for nothing now, and we'll settle for nothing later. And I think it's Sonny had kind of made a point when we were talking about something at one point leading up to this. And I think that is the Kiss fan motto. Why didn't you do this? You'll settle for nothing now, and you'll settle for nothing later. Well, what about, are they going to play a new song in the set list? No, they're not going to.
You're going to settle for nothing now.
And you'll settle for nothing later when they do the same fucking set list.
That's right.
That's exactly. It's the Kiss fan motto.
Oh, that's good. That's
right?
good. Yes.
Now, let's move on and get a bullet in the head.
Bullet in the head. So I remember thinking after listening to the song, you know what? It is kind of a shame. I'm not the most, political guy and government guy and all that, but like you listen to the news, you listen to presidential addresses, you don't quite know who to believe. You don't know if somebody's trying to spin something and everybody says, oh, we're giving it to you straight. We're giving it to you unfiltered. We're not picking a side. But then when they're done telling you, they picked a side, right? So it's so interesting that's how things have become. It's interesting. Zack mentioned cellular phones in the song. It's 1992. They're not exactly, common yet. So I thought that was
good
weird.
point.
Morello's pitch shifter, that's like, got that Sabbath on steroids kind of thing. Those sounds are just awesome. The wah-wah pedals getting a serious workout. I was thinking, do you think the three guys ever say, Zack, like, you got any other words? Like, can you not keep saying the same thing over and over? I just wondered if they say that. The bass sounds great in the mix. And, we've said it about a couple of songs. They know how to get it to like this rage. in the song. Like they know how to build it. They know how to break it down. I think it's the little noises too, right? It like everything feels like they're walking down an alley about to kick somebody's ass. And the little noises are the noises you would hear in the wind and shit. Like I don't know how to explain it, but all the things that Tom is doing matters to the buildup.
Mm-hmm.
And normally it's the bass and the drums that only matter to the buildup. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah.
So good song though. Like the song.
Bullet in the Head. It's so funny when you listen to these lyrics. You're like, my God, this song was written 30 years ago, and every word matters right now in 2022. Yeah. This is incredible. Like, it shows you how we have not progressed, like, at all. I'm not going to go on a rant here, but I'm like, 30 years ago he writes this, and it applies right now. But that being said, oh my God, this song. I don't even know where to begin with this. The bass. What Morello is doing with those guitar sounds, you can tell that he is a Public Enemy fan. Because if you listen to Public Enemy in the 70s, Public Enemy in the 80s, they were famous for having these dissonant earworm sounds that didn't seem like they fit the song, but if they removed it, you'd be like, where is that sound? They do it in this. He does it all the time. It's not the only song he does it, but it's real prominent in this. Just victims of the in-house drive-by. And then there's like this really weird like solo. And then, oh my God, when you get to that final 2 minutes and 13 seconds, when that bass riff comes in and then Morello joins them, and then the whole band kicks in, you got all three of them with that groove. And then it simmers. It slows down a little bit. And then when it speeds up, when he just says bullet in the head and the band's going, and then all of a sudden it shifts gears and the tempo kicks up. I'm just like, this is nobody else could do this song right here. And at the very end, I know I love it. It's not the same as the other song that we're talking about, but when he is just screaming and he says, you got a bullet in your fucking head, I'm like, that's Rage Against the Machine right there. This is why you are listening to this band. And this song is just, nobody else can do something like this. I think this is why this band is who they are. They're unique. And if this is what you're into, they're going to give it to you. They do it. I don't think they do it any better than on Bullet in the Head.
Bullet in the Head. It went up to number 16 in the UK. Again, nothing in the US.
Wow.
Second single. This is the song they were going to play on SNL, the second song, and they're like, get the fuck off the stage. You're out of here.
Imagine that. I know.
Because they had the inverted American flags on their amplifiers.
That's right.
Again, government views, media, control the population, kind of. There's always a message in their song, so they continue in that trend with this. Apparently, they took this right from the demo and just threw it on. Because prior to this album, they had like a 7-song demo, right? Or something like that. And most of those songs just went on this album.
That's right. Yep.
Right.
And a lot of the songs, just on a side note, a lot of the songs that did not make it onto this 10-song album are available like on B-sides. They released a 20th anniversary box set. A lot of those songs are like easily could have made this album.
I told you my favorite is Darkness. That made it onto the Crow soundtrack.
Yep. There's a couple songs that could easily have fit on this album. Yep.
Yeah.
You missed an opportunity there. Where you should have went with that is all these songs are available on Kids Bop 10.
Yeah, that'll work.
Nursery rhyme edition.
Fuck you, mommy. I'm not going to do what you tell me to do.
What's that?
Daddy, put a bullet in your head.
Well, the song isn't about violence. It's saying that people are stupid.
Correct.
And you got like a bullet in your head. You're fucking brain dead, basically. Yep. Not, I'm going to put a bullet in your fucking head.
Right.
I love the chorus musically and lyrically. Just victims of the in-house drive-by. Doom, doom, doom. They say jump. You say how high. Doom, doom,
I love it.
Doom.
I love it.
Like, oh, yeah. The solo, that Morello tone, it's just, what the fuck? And the ending, similar to Killing in the Name of, the build-up. A bullet in your head. Screaming.
Love it.
There's a video, another performance video.
Yep.
The one part about the video I will mention is the fact that they show the clip of like we were talking about earlier, Morello's solo. He's not like rocking out to the crowd. He's like going back to the amplifier. He's got his finger, he's touching all sorts of fucking buttons, and he's doing these crazy noises with the guitar. You're like, what the fuck is he doing? But it's interesting to watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the video where I'm watching kind of what Zack is doing, going, okay, this dude can sell the message vocally and visually.
Yeah.
Right? There's a piece, because really, homie looks like he's about 110 pounds wet. Right? So he ain't going to scare anybody with his girth, I'm sure. Right?
He looks like the guy from Arrested Development.
He looks like Sideshow Bob.
Like the guy, not the TV show. I'm talking about the band. Tennessee.
Oh, the band.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
He looks like that guy.
Which, by the way, I saw them at a Lollapalooza one year too. But anyways,
And then the fucked, was that in the Ford logo? It looked like it was like in the Ford logo.
I think that's a play on the Ford logo, I believe.
Yeah. Why did Ford do something to people?
No, I think fucked. You talking about the
capitalist pig?
Yeah.
FUCT. Yeah, that was like a 90s, like I think it was like some alternative, like skateboarder type of friggin' logo or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty.
Know Your Enemy. Next.
So Know Your Enemy, love the intro guitar part, love the slapping bass, such awesome funk. Love the riff. Stop the music. Then the riff is just in one ear. Then you build it back. Like, I think Morello figured out early with this band, you can't just have a bunch of screaming with the singer. Like, there has to be something else, because we're coming out of a hair metal generation where all the guitar gods were in it. Like, you got to do something to keep people interesting. But these are the songs, I'm telling you, they got to be careful, because this shit could start a revolution. I swear. Now, this whole bridge section with Keenan.
Yeah.
I don't like anything about Tool. Not one single solitary thing. I cannot stand Tool. I fucking love this bridge. The bridge is done so well. The message is great. I didn't know that the compromise and conformity and assimilation and submission and ignorance and hypocrisy and brutality and the elite were all American dreams. I must have missed that somewhere. But then Zack just screaming that at the end with no music, like that feels like maybe a happy mistake, right? It's like, cut the music, see how that sounds. Oh yeah, it sounds pretty good. Put it at the end, right? Like it was a good idea, whoever came up with it. All in all, great song. And that guitar solo, dude, this was the song where I'm like, okay, Morello can basically do anything. And I basically thought this guy was a shithead my whole life.
Well, speaking of Maynard James Keenan, he was almost the lead singer of Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, my God, dude, I cannot stand it. You guys like Tool? I can't stand Tool.
I don't mind Tool. They are a band that, this is another, we say this all the time, it's another band that, for me, you got to be in the mood for. Incredible musicianship. I mean, they have songs that are 10 minutes long. They got the best drummer in the business right now in Danny Carey, if you care about that kind of stuff. The band is incredible musically, but it's not the kind of band where you can be like, let's put on Tool. Like but yeah, Maynard James Keenan was almost the lead singer of Rage. And another fun fact, Perry Farrell was supposed to do this little breakdown, but he was not around to do it. But anyways, Know Your Enemy. So the thing I like about this, so Take the Power Back was like a funky, like rockin' kick-ass tune. To me, Know Your Enemy takes that format and just turns it up to like 100. I mean, this song is so outstanding. It shows you the different things they can do with their music, the kind of songs they can write. When that riff kicks in and Zack just screams, Know Your Enemy, and then boom, then the drums and it takes, and then you have the full band going. It's incredible. And again, another song that is just mind blowing live. I mean, the crowd absolutely loves this live. The solo, again, Morello using those effects, which everybody loves. I love it. And then, of course, friggin' Zack goes on his American Dreams rant, which you love when Zack repeats stuff, don't you, Sonny? When I first heard this song, I'm like,
gonna burn.
When I first heard the song, I'm like, why does he keep saying all of which are American dreams? Is this going to end? Like, what is he doing? But I like how he's like compromise, conformity, assimilation, submission, ignorance, hypocrisy, brutality of the elite. And then he says, all of which are American dreams. And I'm like, damn, dude.
No, he doesn't. He says, all of which are American dreams. All of which
are American dreams.
All of which are American dreams. You can't say that line without saying it 15 times later.
But it's like, God damn it, Zach. You know how to bring the party down, man. Like, God damn, you're no fun. But Know Your Enemy's a killer fucking tune. Oh my God.
Yes, I have Undertow. I liked a couple of songs, the hits from that. It's all right. Cool. ABCPA Inc.
He loves them too. That's right.
Tony Barone sent me their newest. I'm like, dude, just give me some time. I got to get through this Rush one before I can move on to that.
Dude, and I think the first song on the newest Tool album was like 10.5 minutes long. It's like,
good Lord.
Look at Sonny. Good Lord.
It's like
that's the entire length of a Sleazebees album.
Dude, we could do a Family Feud category of things that you know that Sonny won't like this song. Bing! It's over 3 minutes. Number one answer. 2, it's grunge.
The guy repeats himself more than 3 times.
That's a great family.
The band came out in the 90s. Bing.
The band starts with R.
Yeah. There you go.
The band's title is an R? Bing? That's up there. You win.
Wow. We just won the grand prize. That was easy.
What? The land of the free? Whoever told you that is your enemy. That's a very Chuck D delivery.
Oh, absolutely.
What's that line from Bring the Noise? What a buffalo.
What a buffalo.
That's what they all think he says. Right? Oh, but
the crazy. What a brother no.
Death row. What a buffalo.
What's crazy about this stuff though is, all right, Zach's taking shots at the government that basically provides him his living.
Yeah.
But if he lived in the UK and was taking shots at our government, we wouldn't be okay with that either. Right? Because well, you don't live here. Who the hell are you?
Exactly.
Right? So it's like you can't win.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. Go tell him to do that about the governments he's talking about the U.S. is oppressing and see if he can get away with saying shit like that over there.
Oh, he'll be strung up by Morello's. He'll be strung up by Morello's guitar strings. If
you know what it'll be? Hey, do you remember that time that one band tried to play a song? Good luck.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. And again, I almost take the opposite approach. I love that he says that line and repeats it, and then the music's gone. It just makes it like more poignant. Like
exactly. It's more powerful.
All of which are American dreams.
Yeah.
And he pauses. It's not like he just says it. He pauses and makes you think about it. Oh, yeah. All of which are American dreams. Earworm stays in with you. That's how I know these songs. That part. All right. Wake up, Sonny. Who has to use the lavatory?
So Wake Up, and kind of like what Zeus was saying earlier, this is when I was like, all right, haven't we already heard this song? Like, this is kind of similar to others. I will tell you, I like the unique way to incorporate Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and then came the shot. Good idea. Morello scratching the guitar strings. I mean, he's basically shit. It almost sounded like he was like scratching a record on his. That was crazy. So I get stupid with this kind of stuff, and I'm like, I need to know what the hell he says in the middle. So I go on this search. So here's what he says in the middle.
Okay.
He could be a real contender for this position. So they're talking about Martin Luther King becoming a black messiah.
This is J. Edgar Hoover's FBI.
Yeah. Should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines and embrace black nationalism? Through counterintelligence, it should be possible to pinpoint potential troublemakers and neutralize them. Okay.
And neutralize them.
Yeah. J. Edgar Hoover, I get it. You know, you hear this, you're like, okay, Sonny, you're a minority. This doesn't sound right. Like they're trying to figure out how to protect their country. They don't know who's an enemy. right? They don't know, and you're supposed to protect them against foreign and domestic. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're kind of talking out of their asses a little bit, right? In the end, I think when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to tell what's going on. We have the beauty of being armchair quarterback going, all right, what these guys were doing was wrong, and they saw the wrong things, but we're looking at it 40, 50 years afterwards. When you're in it and you're paid to protect the country, I don't know if it's as black and white as that.
Yeah, I'm not. It's true. You have the luxury of 60 years, 50 years in the rearview mirror. Yeah, hindsight. But the song itself, it's another example. It's similar to what Settle for Nothing is doing, but Wake Up does it way better. It's way better, and I'll tell you because it starts off with a really interesting groove, and there's a solo. The groove then kind of shifts gears again. And when Zack just screams to the point where his voice breaks, when he's like, what was the price on his head? And then he's like, I think I heard a shot. And then the band starts to come up to like that, like simmering boil again. And like we've said it many times, something's coming. Something's coming. And after they play that recording or they play that clip of J. Edgar Hoover's memo, when Zack goes into Wake Up, I think no other song on this entire album, maybe no other song in the entire Rage catalog, captures. Bullet in the Head is close. Wake Up is just incredible because, again, we've said it before. His credibility behind the words that he's saying to the point where his voice is breaking, and I just think that emotion and that aggression just comes through so much. It's just. It's something that Rage is just really good at doing. If this is what you like, no, I've said it before. Nobody does it like them. And this song is just a killer song, especially when you consider the message behind it.
So Wake Up. It's got another one of those alternative rock sounding beginnings.
Totally.
It sounds like Purple, a portion of Purple, STP type.
Yep.
Like alternative, like Still Remains or something like that. It's like din. You're like,
yep.
It's not Pearl Jam Nirvana shit, but a little bit STP, maybe Soundgarden-ish. Hard to take it serious when he says flip like Wilson.
Like Wilson. I love that. Flip like Wilson. What a lyric. I love that.
Oh, man. They murdered X and try to blame it on Islam. All right, motherfucker. I will keep my political views to myself. Who else fucking killed him?
Yeah.
It wasn't it was his other fucking Muslims that killed him. But that's,
Go ahead.
There's enough shit to bitch about in this country. Don't make up shit to bitch about it. It wasn't the government that fucking killed Malcolm X. So that's just me. Okay. Anyway, and the spoken word of J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover is a dick in any fucking century.
Hoover, he was a body remover.
Yeah.
What a great lyric.
He was a corrupt asshole who fucking only did shit to keep himself in power. So whether you were a Republican and he liked you or a Democrat, he liked you if you allowed him to do his shit and do behind the scenes. He was fucking corrupt on both sides of the aisle. He was just an asshole and hurt a lot of good people, unfortunately. Araldus Chapman comes out to this song, Tom, as his closing.
I saw that. I'm like, what a weird song to come out to. Jesus.
That's like, why his ERA is a 22.
Yeah, I was going to say, take that away from him. He deserves something to be like, oh, he has that as a closeout. Give him something stupid. Give him the B-52s to come out to. The fact that he takes that spoken word from J. Edgar Hoover, he knows that. Let me throw that in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
That's another one of these earworms in the song. But screaming Wake Up 100,000 times at the end, too, as usual. Angry song. But for me, it doesn't work as much as the other angry song.
Really?
Wow. I think he's angrier. I think he's angrier in Bullet in the Head. I think he's angry in the we'll get to that song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Angriest, I feel. But I mean, to say he's not the angriest on this song does not mean he's not angry. He's off the charts.
Oh, yeah, he's right
compared to anybody else on any other album. But just for this album, he's middle of the pack angry. So, and if voice breaking is something that you like, go listen to every Nirvana song because his voice cracks and everything. If that's your gig. So let's get a fistful of steel.
Fistful of Steel. So soon as it opens again, I'm like, all right, Soundgarden, Metallica. Like it kind of just feels like that cool riff. Love the bass line. That piercing siren sound that Morello's doing works perfectly with a vocal track. Like I can't imagine anybody else doing it that way. I'm thinking that the mad boy Zack's talking about himself. These guys,
Mad Boy grip the microphone.
Yeah, I guess that's him. When Zack sings that verse of 44 full of bullets, I thought that was like a dog screaming in the background. Then I'm like, wait a second, is that Morello's guitar? Like just the kind of weird nuances these guys they have it down so cool for it to be a first album and to kind of have that as part of your sound and then be able to put it in a way that you can't not do it, but that have to remember you did all this weird shit that is like part of almost a vocal melody. I think Zeus, I think that's about the best I've heard. Yeah, he's like doing experiments. Yeah. He's a nerd doing guitar experiments on stage because, he ain't got nothing better to do. So he just does that, right? So I really like the song. I think both Wake Up and A Fistful of Steel and probably a lot of these other songs, but this is just kind of when it came to mind. There's this whole feel of there's been people in history that have gotten close to actually making a difference, and every time that fucking happens, somehow they die. Yeah. We're not exactly know who to blame it on, but today we're going to blame it on the government.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, this is another one of those songs. It might not have the groove of Know Your Enemy or Take the Power Back, but it's another one of those just bludgeoning aggression filled songs. I mean, if the vibe was suicide, then you would push the button. But if you're bowing down, then let me do the cutting. And then he just screams, and then the band when the band crashes down on the endings of these songs, it seems like the band is like completely like in disarray, but it's like controlled aggression. That's what this band is so good at. They know exactly what they're doing, and it sounds like it's chaos, but it's like organized chaos, and all of them are participating in that. And you're right, those drones that Morello's doing, that is so Public Enemy. You go back and listen to, especially the 1987, It Takes Nation Millions to Hold Us Back. There are so many songs that have those little bits in the song that just get to you, and they do it so well. And definitely here in Fistful of Steel, he does that.
Fistful of Steel, again with that drill guitar.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it sounds like that Eddie song, Pound Cake.
Yeah, yep.
Throughout the whole song. A Fistful of Steel, that's the part that gets me, and this is the part I remember about this song. It's got that weird solo, of course, and he throws out a Shaquille O'Neal.
Love that.
I love when they throw out those terms of 90s stuff.
Yep.
Riddick Bowe overhand, like Riddick. Yeah. Shit like that. I like the song, but it's for me, it doesn't stick out compared to these other ones.
Okay.
And but it's got a good groove to it, so can't really say anything bad about it. All right, let's go to the next track.
Township Rebellion. So when I first heard or read the title, I'm like, oh, this got instrumental fucking written all over this shit. Heaven forbid we do an album, don't got a goddamn instrumental. So the music starts. I'm like, all right, there's the thump. There's the crazy guitar noises. You got a cowbell. Like, are we going to get lyrics? And then I'm like, all right, this is an actual song. Pace changes were cool. This song, a lot of other songs too, kind of had my head bopping kind of the whole time. That feel changes right before the guitar solo. I'm assuming that's a guitar. That could be a keytar for all we know, right? We don't know really. And then I started thinking, I'm like, man, these guys must have been amazing live, because to pull some of this shit off with the energy that you have to pull it off with, I never got a chance to see them.
Mm-hmm.
The scream at 3:15, there's a lot of times where Zack screams and kind of like Zeus said, the voice breaks, which is interesting. It adds a flavor. It's not perfect, doesn't have to be, so that's good. In the end, this song felt like it was 2 or 3 songs like jammed together.
Yep.
But somehow it worked for me. Like normally when that happens, I'm like, hey, I don't like that too much. It's a little lazy. You guys put 3 songs together, don't got nothing to do with each other. But in this one, it kind of worked because they prep you with these like jabs and little right hooks, because they're always kind of messing with the pace of the song. So they always sound like different songs kind of jammed together. So when they actually do it, it actually kind of works. So I like the song.
Yeah, this is a weird song. I remember when I got the album, I'm like, what the heck is going on with this weird bass line? And there's the guitar is like squealing, and there's like a cowbell, and it's like, and then all of a sudden it's like shifts gears and it goes into like this like heavy chorus, and then it goes back, and then it's got that wicked like that again, that kind of menacing groove where you think there's like a calm, and then it blows up in the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. It's like, you know, why stand on a silent platform? Fuck the war, fuck the norm. Shackled our minds when we're left on the cross, when ignorance reigns, life is lost. And then he just loses his mind again. Like it just, it's just so crazy. The songs that they're putting together lyrically and musically. And like you said, Sonny, how it works. I just think it's such a unique thing that they're doing. They're like, yeah, I'm listening to a Rage album right now. Like, I'm not listening to anything else. I'm not getting confused with any other band right now, lyrically and musically. No one's doing this shit. And, yeah, this is a weird song for me because I just think it is disjointed, but like you said it well, they're pulling it off. But it's a weird song for me, but it's Rage and it's on this album. I love it, but it's a unique one.
Township Rebellion. It starts off almost exactly like the classic from Eazy-E. This is a stick up, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
This is a stick up. Everybody get face down. Ren gag their mouth so they can't make a sound.
There you go. That means we're doing an NWA album soon.
That's the Eazy-E solo.
Oh, okay.
Nobody move. Nobody
get hurt.
Oh, yeah. They were the biggest titties that I ever saw. Why stand on a silent platform? Fight the war. Fuck the norm.
Yep.
That's the clip of this song, and it stays in my head. Dun, dun, dun. I love it. Yeah, this is another one that I'm like, yeah, all right, this is kind of I don't really get it. And then boom, that part comes out of that song. And then I'm like, yep, now I remember which song this is.
Yep.
And just another one that's, again, you find something in every one of their songs to latch onto. So you may not like the groove so much, but you'll like the lyric. You may not like the lyrics, but all of a sudden the bass comes in. Or you might not like the. There's always something interesting going on with these songs. So it's hard to just dislike something. Oh, this is terrible. It doesn't work. But there's always something at least I find in all these songs. Let's go to the fourth single in the last song.
Anger is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom. Okay. When I first heard it, I'm like, all right, didn't we hear this song already? I'm like, okay, I guess AC/DC sounds similar too a lot of the time, so I guess that's okay. Then I realized, because what I do is I listen to the songs without the lyrics for a while, and then I read the lyrics as I listen to the songs. And there's a point where Zack says, with poetry, I paint pictures that hit, more like murals that fit. And then I started reading other lyrics, and I'm like, Zack pats himself on the back a lot. Right? This is another bomb track. That's kind of patting himself on the back right out of the gate, really.
I like it.
Right? So I'm like, okay, well, his arms are long, I guess. During the guitar solo, so subdued. It almost had like a little jazz to it. And then the last 20 seconds with all the weird noises and all that completely fits the whole album. I love the story and the lyrics and how it kind of all fits together And then the freedom, at the end. Great closing song. I had no idea about the story. If the intent was to go make me search out the story, I did it, and they won. And I thought it was a really well-written song, and I think, you know what, Zack should pat himself on the back because he wrote some really good stuff on this album.
Yeah, incredible album closer, perfect album closer. Really interesting in story being told start to finish. This is probably one of the more specific lyrical stories that he tells about Leonard Peltier and all that story. We can get into it when we talk about the video. But yeah, the anger is a gift. And that part, the little things that we've talked about throughout this album, when he says, bring that shit in, and the band just boom, just jumps in. I'm like, fuck, that's why I love this band. Like, these guys they kill it. They know how to kill it. And again, at the end, you said it, Sonny, Brad is like kind of just hitting those drums. It's like kind of boiling. And then just the freedom. I mean, everybody knows that. It's almost as not quite as legendary as the fuck you, I won't do what you told me, but just that freedom, just screaming. And he says, yeah, right. It's just, it's incredible. But some of the lyrics in this song, I mean, I won't read them in case somebody pulls it for their lyric, but my God, I mean, just an incredibly crafted song lyrically. Just, I mean, killer ending for a track. This is the reason this was a single. I'm surprised it wasn't the first one, but yeah, freedom, killer.
Yeah, freedom. This is their fourth single. This is the one that I was telling you about that Jacob Givens that.
We'll share that.
Yeah, that is fucking hilarious.
Oh my God.
The scream at the end is just.
Oh.
It just makes you want to get up and scream yourself. The buildup, again, maybe that's the third one, almost like a trifecta there between Bullet in the Head and
Wake Up and Freedom.
Yeah, just
yep.
Boom. I love this song. It's always been kind of catchy for me, and it always gets me in a kind of a mindset. It transcends, like it's something that I don't have to be in a mood to listen to. It's one of those that I can put it on a 90s mix.
Yep.
And throw it in there. Where some bands, like, if I'm listening to Soundgarden, I can't put on Soundgarden between Kiss and
right.
Fucking Cinderella, you know. But this, I feel I can move it around. It just gets you all worked up. There's a video with all sorts of fucking like thought-provoking images and comments and performance video, people flipping out at freedom. It's just insane.
Yeah. I mean, the story is incredible. I mean, we're not going to give you a history lesson here, but it's about the case of Leonard Peltier, who was put in prison and wrongly imprisoned. I mean, I'll give them credit when they put the video together. Not only are they showing you visual things, but they're kind of telling a story. That there's words on the screen. There's a scroll at the bottom. They're kind of telling you the story. I'll be honest with you. Before I had to see, I knew nothing about this case. So if they got their point, across. Where I was like, oh, what is this? Oh, wow, that is kind of a crazy story. I never heard of this before. So it's interesting. I mean, it's in the video. It's a well put together video.
Yeah. Did you notice that Tom's hat said poser?
I did. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm wondering, I'm like, who's that? Who's he pointing that towards? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
This is the shit. This is 92, right?
Yeah.
This is the shit that used to drive me nuts because according to Nirvana, Pearl Jam's were posers.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, how authentic do you have to be to some of these people? How pure? Like, That's the shit that Kurt Cobain would do. It'd drive me nuts. Like, shut the fuck up, dude.
But that's the 90s. Yeah, you're right.
Like, everybody's like, oh, I'm talking about more serious things. Death, suicide. Yeah, I'm talking about heroin overdose and homelessness. Oh, yeah? Well, meanwhile, Kiss is like, it's like a glove.
Yeah. But and it's the same. It happens nowadays. Like, oh yeah, nice Led Zeppelin shirt. Name 3 songs. I don't know. I just like the shirt. You poser. Like, you know, it's like give me a break. Just fucking do whatever you want.
That whole poser thing fucking killed it.
Yeah.
And that's what killed what got deemed now hair metal.
Yeah.
Poser, like fake, inauthentic. Your music is silly. It's bubblegum. It's for fucking, you know,
it's sophomoric.
Yeah, sophomoric. It's not to be taken seriously. And that's the shit that happened in that, you know, you can keep two worlds around.
Of course.
You don't have to be in one. You can be in both.
Of course. Go ahead, Sonny.
Yeah, I was going to say, if, you know, what Morello said, obviously, I'm sure is right, where you were reading, hey, yeah, we're signed with Epic, but we got control over all our videos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then they did an amazing job with the videos.
Yep.
Because I don't know shit about Rage, and I enjoyed all three videos.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I learned a couple of things, and they could have easily all three been concert videos. Right? You could have had a Weezer thing with them and a Happy Days thing with ties
Jesus.
on.
Imagine that.
Like, you know, who knows who comes up with all that shit.
Yeah.
But if Epic allowed them to be them, then I think that they got the best of all worlds. They had to make money. They got to give some of that money away. They got to have a big voice on a stage, and it never got taken away from them. And they ended up being underground and popular. How many people can say that?
It's true. It's a good point. Yep.
Right. So it's a good video. I really liked it.
Yep. Very well done.
All right. Well, those are the songs from Rage Against the Machine. Do you want to have a overall kind of thought analysis on the whole album as a whole, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, my pick, you know, I told you guys what I think of the band. You know, I've been on their bandwagon or whatever you want to call it since day one. Seen them in concert a bunch of times. Love the album. I mean, I listen to Rage routinely still to this day. They're on shuffle. I got them on a couple playlists. Based on what I'm hearing from you guys here, I'm not going to lie here. I am pleasantly blown away by both of you here. Really, really, really pleasantly surprised. When I picked this, I'm like, I know there's people out there that like it. I know that Sonny and Zeus aren't like metal screaming guys, but the band has kind of an undeniable groove to them that can get you through some of the vocals that you may or may not like. But I was pleasantly surprised to hear what you guys thought of this album. But I love this. It's a standout album. It's a freaking killer album.
I'll jump in. So not to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to.
You could light it on fire. Add gasoline.
And if the horse will die, Sonny, it didn't make it alive. But I knew you liked Rage Against the Machine in college. This is why I'm still fucking pulling what's left of my hair out about how much you love Rush. Because I know the bands you like. And that's why I'm still harping on the fact that I didn't know you love Rush that much. It's still
because no one else liked him. You couldn't play Rush.
But Rage, like you name a band, I'm like, oh, Tom likes that. Tom likes that. I know he likes that. I know I've heard him I've heard him talk about this. So even Steely Dan, I remember. I'm like, oh yeah, Tom likes that band. Yeah, and I don't listen to him, but I know you did.
Right.
Anyways, to get back to this, they were always around. You'd always hear them through the 90s, where I think the 90s was my peak music love, meaning where music was so important in my life. I didn't have a full-time job yet. I was still in law school. I was still living at home and going out. You're buying albums. Music is everything. We're talking music with everybody. Before we go out and we're drinking, we're playing music.
Yep.
It was the biggest point of all our times. Rage was always around in that mix. I never owned an album. This is the first Rage album I have, and I'm glad we put this on you put this on my radar. I'm not pleasantly surprised because I kind of knew what they were, just wasn't familiar with the songs.
Yeah,
I like the album, I do. Where I rank it, I don't know, because you know me, I don't know until I look at the chart as we're doing these. So, but I'm again, we've yet to put an album out here that I fucking hate.
Yeah.
So that streak's alive. Thank you for picking this, and thank you for putting it on my radar.
Good. Sonny.
I like this stuff better than grunge. Is that saying much? I don't know.
Okay.
Has funk, the hip hop, the metal, a little bit of punk. You know, if I got to choose between like depression and anger, like I'm gonna choose anger.
I agree. I will do the same.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
The energy is incredible. The production is outstanding. The music to me is kind of like a Red Hot Chili Peppers, Cypress Hill, Black Sabbath, Sly and the Family Stone, and like the hottest ghost peppers you've ever tasted into a blender. But I'll tell you separately, I'm not a big fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers or Cypress Hill or Black Sabbath or Ghost Peppers. But blended,
same here.
But blended, goddamn did this work. I enjoyed most of the album. Wow. And Morello got a whole new respect.
Yep.
I have never owned this album. Totally my bad. Need to get a copy. I was blown away. I've been listening to this shit for a straight month, and it didn't get old, and had my head bopping every damn time. And I had to be careful because I'm on the floor with 3,000 people in the building going, I'm not doing what you fucking tell me. I'm not doing what you fucking tell me. I was like, okay, I got to
burn.
Be careful.
Mr. Pooney, you need to come down now. Fuck you. Won't do what you tell me.
I'm like,
is it true that you told your employees to put a bullet in their head? Is that correct?
Yeah. Did you tell them to be like some guy named Fitch Quan Duck? Why don't you just light yourself
on fire?
So, you know, I'll be humming and people will say, so what are you humming? And
nothing.
A lot of the times I just tell them, but I had to be careful with this. I enjoyed listening to this album. Thank you for picking it. I'm going to go pick up a copy. I thought it was great.
Okay. See, now I feel like I'm being punked because I cannot believe that I turned Sonny onto something from the 90s, let alone this. I am literally so pleasantly surprised right now. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Oh, you haven't heard me rank it yet.
That's okay. That's okay. Just your comments on it. I don't care if you rank it last. That's fine if you rank it last. The fact that you enjoyed it to the point where you kept listening to it, want to get a copy, that's all I care about. One thing before we move to the rankings, I totally forgot about this, Zeus. I'm not sure if you remember this. So senior year at Stoner, we lived in these townhouses, and they were 2 stories. And when you went to the top of the stairs on the landing, there was like a big wall, and people had posters and stuff. I don't know if you remember this, Zeus. One of our friends, Macca, I'll just call him Macca. Do you remember when they used to sell posters that were like 6 feet by 10 feet?
I know what you're talking about. Go on.
He had this album cover so when you went up the second floor of his townhouse on the landing, you saw this album cover, not in a 2x3 foot poster, in like those wall size posters that was there at the top of the stairs.
I remember.
Yep. I just thought that was wild. But anyways, let's get to the rankings.
All right, Tom, why don't you lead us off? Song number 10.
Okay. I'll just say this right now. Very difficult because there's no skips for me on this album.
We always preface everything when we do these. Go ahead.
Number 10, I got Settle for Nothing.
I'm out. See you later.
Oh, come on.
Who's next? Fistful of Steel.
Who's that? Oh, Zeus is okay. Zeus has Fistful of Steel. Okay.
My number 10. You'll settle for nothing now.
Uh-oh.
And you will settle for nothing later.
Uh-oh.
That is the KISS motto.
Number 9 for me, I got Township Rebellion.
People are insane. Wake Up.
Oh, my Lord. That's terrible.
That's not terrible.
My number 9 was Killing in the Name.
Ooh. Wow.
He's got to come up with more lyrics if he's going to tell a story to me.
The lyrics aren't enough.
All right. My number 8, Take the Power Back. No skips here. That's why we're all angry. I like this, and we all like all the songs. Zeus, number 8.
Shit, man. This is not easy. Let's go with, I already picked that. Let's go with Township Rebellion.
Okay.
My number 8 is Bullet in the Head.
Ooh, wow. These are bad rankings, Sonny. But you like the album, so I'll let it slide. Number 7 for me, Killing in the Name of.
What is wrong with you people?
What is wrong with you people?
I'm good people skills.
I'm good. I'm a people person. God damn it.
Know your enemy.
What? We are all over the place here.
My number 7 is Freedom.
Wow.
Freedom.
Oh, goodness.
You gotta take the what you can.
All right. My number 6
Best
is
video.
My number 6 is Bomb Track.
Reminds me of the Bombs and Eek. Remember that?
Yes. God. Yep.
Bombs
We went to college with this girl named Dominique who had a huge rack, and people used to call her Bombsanique because we were idiots back then. Back then.
Oh,
Because
back
every-
then.
I'm sorry.
Because she got her titties banged.
I'm sorry. We're much more mature now.
Yeah.
Zeus 6.
I will probably go with you're talking about 10 years I'm in the business. 10 years you in the business? I'll go with Bomb Track too.
Okay. Sonny?
My number 6 is Township Rebellion.
My number 5 is Fistful of Steel.
Number 5, Take the Power Back.
My number 5, Fistful of Steel.
My number 4 is Freedom.
Number 4 is Freedom.
Number 4 for me is Wake Up.
Nice. That's my number 3, Wake Up.
Bullet in the Head, number 3.
My number 3 is Bomb Track.
Number 2 for me is Know Your Enemy.
Number 2, the Kiss fans will settle for nothing now, and they'll settle for nothing later.
Wow, number 2.
And
Wow.
you settle for nothing now, and you
Okay.
settle for nothing later.
What about that? Will you guys add a track off the on the next tour coming up?
No,
When you
no,
go around?
No.
Why
no,
not?
wake up. No.
Because you, as a Kiss tard, will settle for nothing now, and you'll settle for nothing later.
Exactly.
My number 2, Know Your Enemy.
Am I missing something about that song or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, of
good.
all these great tracks, this is number 2.
Yes. Number 1 for me, without question, Bullet in the Head.
Number 1, come on, people. What's wrong with you people? Killing in the Name is the best song on this album. Not even close.
Fuck you. I won't do what you told me.
The best song on this album, hands down, is Take the Power Back. I don't know what the
Down,
hell
Chuck D.
Sonny is wrong.
The defense is wrong.
There's no bad picks here. I said that, except for Zeus having settled for nothing at number 2.
Oh, you guys are wrong. That song rocks.
It does.
And no, the whole point of that is the whole thing. It's the lecture to the Kiss star.
It's the Kiss song, right?
It's
Okay.
that Kiss connection that makes me like it more.
Okay.
All right, so tied for 4th, Bomb Track and Freedom. Number 3 collectively was Take the Power Back. Number 2 was Bullet in Your Head. And number 1 was Know Your Enemy.
Okay. So
Killing in the
People are
Name
fucking
Did not
insane.
make the top 4.
killing in the name of, we'll have to make the poll's going to have to be Killing in the Name of, Know Your Enemy, Bullet in the Head, Take the Power. But we can't have Killing in the Name of not in the poll.
Yeah,
I have you two to thank for that.
Well, because the song's overrated. So fuck you. I won't do what you told me.
Dude, if we're gonna be like that, then all these songs off these legendary albums, like Fatigue, is gonna kill it all.
No, honestly, I'm not going to lie. It's not Fatigue. The only thing I like about that song is the fuck you, I won't do what you told me. The rest of the song, I'm like, eh.
Dude, that whole bass.
No, I know.
Oh, just building. Some of those that work forces, Tom, are the same that burn cross. Oh, we forgot to say that sometimes he changes the lyrics.
Oh, that's right. When he performs it live.
And he sometimes says, are the same that burn churches.
That's right.
There's some food for thought, Sonny Pooney.
Is that when he sang it over in Europe when they would burn in churches? Seriously. What?
I don't know. This is just too deep. We're like talking,
We
like
need
we
to get back
talking about snakes and titties, and now we're talking about like burning churches. And
We've had 3 albums in a row, way too high intellect. That's
oh
why,
my God.
that's
Now that
why-
I think about it, you're right. Way
REM
too serious.
But that's why Sonny's going to save us by picking some dumbass album next month.
So I guess I will
REM,
pick Rat.
Yes.
Rush, REM, Rush, and
Rage.
fucking Rage.
Too much thinking.
Oh, holy, like depression, anger, all sorts of medication we have to take
Exactly.
after listening to these albums.
Yeah, we need to get back to sexy time.
Yes. No kidding.
Ooh. All right, boys. Now we go over to album covers. We're not going to say all fucking 80 albums we've reviewed. We're just going to say, how about this? Let's say what the top 5 album covers combined ranking are right now. As of now, are number 5, Highway to Hell. Number 4, Moving Pictures. Number 3, Appetite for Destruction. Number 2, Blizzard of Oz. And number 1, Peace of Mind. Tom, you want to say what yours are?
Yeah. My top 5 covers: number 5, Peace of Mind; number 4, Highway to Hell; number 3, Moving Pictures; number 2, Blizzard of Oz; number 1, Purple Rain. All right, so Rage Against the Machine album cover. So this is unique because it's not like it's like entertaining like the Highway to Hell or the Blizzard of Oz or the Purple Rain. I mean, it's real. It's a fucking guy setting himself on fire. My God, it's not something you want to see all the time, but it's iconic as hell. I mean, it's awesome. I'm going to put it at number 3.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to put it at number 3. I'm going to put it behind Purple Rain and behind Blizzard of Oz, just because it's going to take a lot to get Prince on a purple motorcycle with Apollonia in the background. It's going to take a lot to knock them down. Beep, beep. So I'm going to put Rage at number 3 for me, because that Purple Rain, and I still love that Blizzard of Oz album.
Okay. I had Slide It In, Snakes and Titties, number 5, Peace of Mind 4, Appetite at 3, Blizzard of Oz is 2, Hotel California at 1. I am putting this at number 15, right underneath Hail to the King and above Shooter McGavin in Night Songs.
Shooter McGavin.
All right, my top 5: 5, Hotel California; 4, Purple Rain; 3, Moving Pictures; 2, Slide It In; 1, Peace of Mind. It's going to be hard to move Snakes and Titties or Eddie out of my top 2, but homie burned himself alive. He's going to number 3.
Nice. All right.
Both you guys moved Moving Pictures. Wow.
Well, Moving Pictures didn't set themselves on fire, so
Yeah. Now,
I mean,
those two kids.
I mean, Joan of those 2 kids were on fire. Then you
got some.
You light that little girl on fire, you'll go into number 1 ranking.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to albums overall. So right now, the top 5 ranked albums combined for us are number 5, Shout at the Devil. Number 4, Back for the Attack. Number 3, Pyromania. Tied technically for number 1 is Mechanical Resonance and Appetite for Destruction.
Wow.
Now, if you guys want to look at the whole list, go to shoutitoutloudcast.com. You can see all our rankings on the album review crew page.
Yep.
Tom, what do you got?
All right. Right now, my top 5 albums are number 5, Mechanical Resonance; number 4, 10; number 3, Shout at the Devil; number 2, Purple Rain; number 1, Moving Pictures. Oof, this is difficult. This is Rage Against the Machine. This is my pick. Oh, this is so tough. Usually I know exactly where I'm going to put my rankings here, but this one is.
Ooh, you're taking a page out of my book. You're not doing it until you see.
No, I'm struggling because it's one of those albums. It's like, it's just so different from everything else.
Just do what you always do.
What? Put it at number 1?
Yeah, that's what you always do.
No, it's not number 1. It's not number 1. It's not number 1. All right.
Not the
Okay.
Puma.
Here's what I'm going to do.
Hey.
I'm going to put this at number 4.
Wow.
And the reason being, I got Moving Pictures, Purple Rain. I almost put Rage at number 3. The reason why I kept Shout at the Devil at number 3 is just because Shout at the Devil is probably one of the most impactful non-Kiss albums of my youth in terms of forming my like rock and roll metal kind of history there. So Shout at the Devil's staying at 3. I'm putting Rage at 4.
I cannot believe you put it over 10.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you know why? I absolutely love 10, but Rage does not have a song like Oceans, and Oceans is not a very good song.
Oh, Oceans rocks. Deep
Okay.
is a different story.
Okay.
Let's go. I've got 5, Appetite, 4, Pyromania, 3, Blizzard of Oz, 2, Hotel California, number 1, Automatic for the People. This is the shit that bugs me. Every time I see Hailstorm so low and I have bad English ahead of it, I need to move that. I feel like I should have a, what do you call it?
A mulligan.
Like one album you can move.
We've talked about that before. We've talked about doing like a mulligan, given you got one free pass to do something.
Yeah,
over.
like it's like in sports when you can unload a player and release players against the cap once a year. Like that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is bullshit that it's there that low.
Well, look at me. I have Slide It In at number 22, and I love that album. You know what I mean? I love that album.
Yeah. So I am putting this at not the bottom, Tom.
Okay.
But I'm going to put this at 24.
Okay.
Below Load.
Okay.
And above Black Tiger.
Okay. That's pretty impressive. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take
and again,
that.
even moving pictures, I do not dislike it. I don't hate it.
I don't really hate any album on this list. There's some that I prefer more than others, but there's really nothing I hate. Sonny.
I absolutely have albums I hate on this list. Okay. My top 5, Appetite is number 5, 4, Slide It In, 3, Hailstorm, 2, Purple Rain, 1, Black Tiger. My dead last is Automatic for the People.
Oh.
That's important to know because this album is better than Automatic for the People.
Why?
I would say this album is better than Peace of Mind. I am putting it at number 14.
Whoa, my God. My head is about to split in half. You just said that Rage Against the Machine's debut album is better than Peace of Mind. And
yes.
you're an Iron Maiden tard.
And I am an Iron Maiden tard.
Oh, I feel like this is Victory. Let's cue up Victory by Heat right now.
Why don't we end the show now?
And it's in between.
It's never going to happen again.
It's in between Heat and Iron Maiden, actually.
Shocking
exactly
development. Shocking development. I didn't get
14.
one brutal from you the entire show.
Nope.
I'm blown away.
Nope,
blown away.
Didn't deserve it.
I know. Pleasant surprise. Amazing.
All right, boys. That's that. You know what we do next? Tom, why don't you lead us off? What do you got for You Make Me Rock Hard?
All right. All right. I always like to talk about movies, especially horror movies. And I'm going to talk about one that I just saw recently. Huge movie in the theaters, but it just was dropped on Paramount Plus. And that is called Smile. And the movie is very creepy. It doesn't really do anything quite 100% original. If you've seen It Follows, it's kind of like that. If you've seen The Ring, it's kind of like that. But it's very well made. It's very disturbing. The plot of the movie, I'm obviously not going to give it away, but it's very fucked up. And just seeing people smile when they're not supposed to be smiling in itself is just unsettling. This is a good one. This is a good one. I highly urge people to check it out. Smile on Paramount Plus if you have it. I'm not sure if it's still in the theaters, but I caught it at home on Paramount.
So for me, this is a documentary. I think it came out during the summer, and it's George Carlin's American Dream.
Oh, nice.
It's a 2-part doc on HBO. And I think for those that even aren't really big fans of George Carlin, if you watch it, you will find yourself having and you found respect for him because he put everything into his craft. He wasn't just looking for cheap laughs. He put a lot of thought in. And I've always been a Carlin fan. I liked it when, probably after the mid 80s when he started getting really rough and like the meaner he got, I found it better when he goes on tirades, whether it's on kids' names or pollution or states and how we can solve the deficit by putting states together that are flat and then putting like sex offenders in one, the murderers, the crazy and the insane in one. And it's just, he has so many great things.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Oh my God. I remember one time he talked about like people that he wants to punch in the face. And he was talking about a guy who has this like tank top or armpit up in the air, like on the bus. And it's like, your armpits smell like an anchovies cunt. I'm like, dude, that is the most vile thing I've ever heard of.
And he could say that. He could get away with that.
He would start off one of his specials about women farting.
Oh, yeah.
Like out of nowhere, just the fart and women and just so mean and vicious. And you would laugh.
Yep.
Fucking hysterical. His last 3 to 4 HBO specials, fantastic. Well, anyways, it's done by Judd Apatow, who does obviously has a huge affinity for George Carlin. And it's really a great, like his personal story about his love for him and his wife, who had a major drinking problem and how he stood by her and like the way they just, the love they had for each other and his daughter and the stuff he would write. And it's a fascinating documentary. They show some great clips. And it's called George Carlin's American Dream. It's 2-part special on HBO. I fucking love Carlin. I think he's hysterical.
Nice.
Never
Sonny.
got into Carlin because by the time I hear him, he is so angry.
Oh yeah,
right. And I wanted, like, to me, Dice and Eddie were funnier, so I went that route instead, and I just could not get into Carlin at all.
Watch his last few shows. They're fucking bitches, but they're so relevant now. And he would say like, oh, I bet you Trevor, Sebastian's Alton would all get their asses kicked by the Tonys, Jims, and Bobs about all these pretentious names that kids have now. He's so fucking funny.
So my rock hard, it came to me as I was listening to the Rage album and hearing Zack scream reminded me of this clip in a movie where this actor, Peter Berg, is pretending to be a musician in this movie I'll tell you about in a second. And he's doing like a 50-second song. And one of the lines in the song is butt whooping. And he, butt whooping! Butt whooping! And I'm like, oh my God, Zack could do that. So the movie is The Great White Hype. I don't know.
Oh, I remember that.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
1996, Damon Wayans, Samuel L. Jackson, Jeff Goldblum, Corbin Burns, and John Lovitz, Cheech Marin, Jamie Foxx, and the ultra on fire hot Sally Richardson. It's basically a comedy and like a satire because the movie is inspired by the Larry Holmes fight against Jerry Cooney, because Jerry Cooney was the great white hope. And the
Jerry Cooney.
Yeah.
Oh my
and the
God,
whole movie is around, how black and white matters in boxing and how it makes money. And Damon Wayans is the champion, and he's a black boxer, and his manager, Samuel L. Jackson, is trying to figure out how to make money. And Peter Berg, who plays the opponent, is the only person who's ever knocked Damon out, but it was an amateur fight. So they decide to put this fight together again, and Damon doesn't take it seriously, and blah, 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 The movie is great. I've probably seen it 100 times. Love the movie. It's not, they're not trying to be overly funny, and they're not trying to be overly serious. It's kind of like in the middle, but there's no drama to this movie. It's pretty much on the up and up, but it's not like a spoof either, if that makes sense.
Cool.
Do you remember the movie?
I've heard of it. I don't know.
I remember.
I don't think I've ever seen it, to be honest with you. I know it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Cool.
I like it.
All right, cool.
Sonny, where can we find you?
I'm easy to find. Social media, grownuprock.com, Podcast Rock City. Podcast Rock City is coming up on his 400th episode.
Ooh, all right.
In around 10 years. Joe's been
Do
doing
you still
that
have
thing for 10
Casado
years.
with you?
We still got that pain in the ass Casada.
You'll hit
Nobody will
400 and
hire him.
bounce. You'll hit 400 and bounce him.
Because nobody, including his best friends, will hire him to be a drummer full time. So
Shit.
see, now he's gonna get all pissed off.
Oh
Now
man.
Now he's
get
going to
all
start
pissed
doing
off at me.
memes of you.
He won't listen to this. He's too scared to listen to Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, Tom, that's what we need to do. We need to combat his memes of us and do memes of him and Sonny together.
Oh, sure.
It's too easy.
I'll be the spoon. I'm good.
Okay.
You can be the button boy.
Oh God Almighty.
Tom, what about us? Are we alive somewhere around here?
Yes. Always go to our website. You find everything there. Shoutitoutloudcast.com. You find all of our episodes. If you're listening to us for the first time, we are a Kiss-centric podcast, releasing Kiss episodes every Saturday. We do these album review crew episodes once a month with our buddy Sonny. But go to our website. You can find all of our Shout Out Loudcast episodes, all the album review crew, our new sidecast, Dorm Damage, the Zeppelin Chronicles. You can find all of these rankings that we talked about tonight, all the rock hard lists, everything. And you can click on all of our social media links. We're Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff. And you can email us also at shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. We're easy to find. Website's the best place to go. It's got everything there.
What we like to do is end on famous last words. Sonny, you got any?
I think I heard a shot. 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 Wake up! I think I saw the putty tat.
Oh my God. So do you approve of Wake Up more than you approve of Planets by Avenged Sevenfold when he's screaming?
Oh, now he's
Okay.
going to send us a song of him singing it too.
Okay. Instead, I warm my hands upon the flames of the flag to recall the downfall in the businesses that burnt us all. See through the news in the views that twist reality. Enough. I call the bluff. Fuck manifest destiny. Ooh.
That's nice.
Remember when Kiss wrote lyrics like that on Animalize?
Isn't that Horace? What's his name that did that? That talked about it?
Talked about what?
Manifest
Only
Destiny.
Horace I know is Horace Grant.
Horace Greeley. Wasn't that the one?
Oh, Manifest Destiny?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Westward
You
Expansion.
don't remember Horace Grant?
No, of
You don't
course I
remember-
remember Horace Grant. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was-
Horace Greeley. He was talking about Westward Expansion.
Westward Expansion. Yeah.
Go West, young man.
That's right.
All right. I'm up. Yeah, ugh. Bring that shit in. Ugh. Hey. Freedom, yeah. Freedom, yeah, right. Freedom, yeah. Freedom, yeah. Freedom, yeah, right. Freedom, yeah. Freedom, yeah. Freedom, yeah. Freedom, yeah, right. Freedom, yeah. Freedom, yeah.
All of which are American dreams.
All of which are American dreams. All right, perfect. So, Tom, Sonny, Rage Tards, Loudcasters, I don't know, Kiss Tards, Kiss Army, everybody involved. Thank you and have a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Yeah, great time as always. REM, Rush, and Rage. Good Lord.
Hey, that's what we do here. Guys, thank you so much. Sonny, always a blast. Zeus, these are always a blast. Thank you, everybody out there, all you fascists, all you anarchists, all you socialists, all you government-hating people. Thank you, too.
Peace out, Girl Scout.